and windy in Nashville on senior night as the Vanderbilt Commodores welcome the red-hot Missouri Tigers. You're watching SEC Saturday Night, presented by Holiday Inn Express. With Andre Ware and Olivia Harlan, I'm Taylor Zarzer. A little cold, windy, and wet tonight, but we can handle it. Missouri started the season 1-5, Andre. In fact, they lost to Purdue. We saw that game 35-3. You see they're allowing an average of 42 points per game, but they are on fire since. Winning their last four, outscoring the opposition 215-66. And they need one more tonight to become bowl eligible.
Yeah, this has been one hot offense, Taylor. But when you go back and you look at how they've got to this point in the winning streak, it's been Drew Lock, certainly and rightfully so, but then you look at the turnover margin. In games that they've won in this streak, they've been +4. In the losses this year, it's -10. Throw in the running game along with that, and they've been over 1,000 yards in 4 games. A lot of production on the ground. Ish Witter last week, 216 yards against Tennessee and a touchdown run. They've also scored 9 touchdowns on the ground in that time span. So they are getting it done on the ground.
Meanwhile, the Vanderbilt Commodores are 4-6, but they were 4-6 last year. They won their last 2 games. They got to a bowl game. Same situation again in 2017.
Yeah, it's going to take an effort, like last year when they defeated Ole Miss and certainly Tennessee down the stretch to get to a bowl game. You think of this offense, Kyle Shermer is certainly going to need to play a little bit better, but the one constant in this thing for Vanderbilt has always been Ralph Webb, a guy that you can hang your hat on. Tough runner. He's electric. He's explosive. He's earned the respect of everyone around the SEC. When you go around the SEC and you talk Vanderbilt football, the name Ralph Webb comes up. I think Derek Mason said it best about Ralph Webb. He said no one knew who Ralph Webb was when he got to campus. Everyone knows who he is as he exits.
Everyone knows who Olivia Harlan is. She's been braving the elements. Mother Nature not cooperating for you tonight, Olivia.
Oh, no, Taylor, it's not. But, hey, this is great football weather for us tonight. Obviously, a 30-minute delay with the tornado warnings. And Missouri couldn't even leave their hotel on time. They were delayed about 45 minutes waiting for this cell to pass. So there's still a little bit of rain. As you can see, it's kind of coming sideways. And the temperature dropped about 20 degrees in the last couple hours. And, guys, most importantly, that'll affect the game tonight is probably the wind, 23 miles per hour. Coach Odom told me that'll mostly affect the kicking game. They brought in their field goal range to the 30-yard line, but their plan offensively stays the same. Coach told me it's imperative to stretch the field vertically. Now, they did do some drills this week with wet footballs, but they're going to wait and see how Drew and the receivers can handle it early on. Now, Vanderbilt receivers switched their gloves. These ones have a little bit less stick. They're more basic. But Kyle Shermer looked very confident in warm-ups and told me he'd be fine throwing in this wind. But it's windy, it's wet, and it's football time, guys.
47 degrees at kickoff. Larry Roundtree is deep for Missouri, who receives the kick. Vandy did win the toss, but elected to defer. Tommy Openshaw, senior kicker from Jacksonville, Florida. And that could be a problem all night with that football falling off the tee.
Yeah, if you have a strong arm at playing quarterback, I actually preferred throwing into the wind, because if you can cut through the wind, you can, if it's just at about 23 miles an hour, as Olivia just described, that's when I think if you have a strong enough arm, you can cut through it. It's when you get the wind behind you that you really can't judge where the ball's going, because it tends to sail on a quarterback.
If they can hit Ware's knockdown shot, they'll be fine tonight. Missouri will start against the wind, and it's Roundtree from the 2. He gets past the 25 and takes tacklers with him out to the 29-yard line. Drew Lock, the junior from Lee's Summit, Missouri, leads the nation with 35 touchdown passes. He has 6 straight games with at least 3 touchdowns. An SEC record, by the way, for the single season is 40. It's only 5 away from Andre Woodson's all-time mark. What a year for Locke.
Yeah, and I think in those highlights you see he made just about every throw. He can throw with touch. He can throw drill shots that you need and cover 2 between the safety and the corners. Shots that need to be drilled in, he can make them. He can throw receivers open. Talented junior that's led this Missouri offense to a nice winning streak here in the last 4 weeks.
Missouri wearing all white tonight, Vandy in all black on senior night. Cold night in Nashville. Tigers from the 29, and a fake, and Locke immediately takes off past the 40-yard line for a first down. That's 12 yards.
Yeah, he is a tremendous athlete. You forget this part of his game. Because Ish Witter has had the amount of success on the ground, you forget about Drew Locke, who was one heck of a basketball player coming out of high school. Was actually recruited by 2 teams that year that went to the Final Four.
Only had 50 yards rushing on the season before that 12-yard. And then he throws a slant bullet to Jonathan Johnson. And quickly, Missouri, after 2 plays, is in Vandy territory.
Yeah, Johnson's very quick. They love to run the screen game with him, or just to get the ball in his hands in space and let him operate.
2 plays, 2 first downs. They lead the conference, averaging 23.5 per game. Locke again with the fake. And he slides down inside the 45, inside the 44. Taron Ferguson on the tackle. Jamon Moore's had a terrific career, Andre.
Yeah, he is having a great year as well. 9 touchdown passes, receptions, leads the team. He's a team leader in receptions at 47, and they're deep threats. So look for him to get deep or try to get deep behind this Vanderbilt secondary.
In school history with 20 touchdowns to the ground. This is Ish Witter, and Ish Witter is free in the Vandy secondary down near the 20-yard line. That's Ladarius Wiley who prevented the touchdown. 23 yards for Witter. The senior from Tampa, Florida, had 216 against Tennessee in his last game ever in Como on Saturday night.
Yeah, it's been the running game with a little bit of different flavor. Mix in a little bit of Drew Locke and a lot of Ish Witter. Only 1 pass thrown so far in this drive.
First down on 3 of 4 plays. Make it 4 of 5, and Witter's inside the 10 down to the 8. First and goal for Mizzou from there.
Yeah, Derek Mason talked about his front having to win, shed blocks, and make tackles, and not doing so on the opening drive of this first half.
Locke to the end zone, wants to pay it off, and Emmanuel Hall is out of bounds, incomplete.
All right, pretty good coverage on the part of Joanne Williams, the big corner. All 6'3" of him. He's tough to beat, but Emmanuel Hall creates some space and had an opportunity to get 1 foot down, just unable to do so. Pretty good throw by Locke.
Take their time and let the play clock get under 10. You rarely see Mizzou do that, but short yardage situation actually is where Derek Mason wants to have Missouri on offense. Locke fakes, end zone, slant dropped by Emmanuel Hall. Hall had 3 of those last week. He had over 100 yards receiving against Tennessee. He could have had close to 200 if he could have brought the ball down.
Yeah, this is a game that's personal for Emmanuel Hall, who is being recruited by Vanderbilt under James Franklin and then forgotten with a coaching change. He's got a point to prove tonight.
From Franklin, Tennessee, nearby Nashville. 3rd and goal now for Mizzou, just outside the 7. All 3 of the Tiger receivers to the bottom of your screen. Locke instead to the top, to the tight end, and it is caught. Touchdown. That's big Albert O, and Mizzou's on the board.
Yeah, Big O on a corner route with nothing behind it. Nice release, and he gets inside of Owen Burks, who's pretty good coverage, an ex-safety, an ex-outside linebacker, playing inside linebacker. You'd think that he'd be in a little bit better coverage, but unable to get there.
Locke ties Peyton Manning for 36 touchdown passes in a single season. As you see on the screen, 5th most in SEC history. Extra point by McCann is up and good. Albert O said, "You can try my last name if you want, Okuebunam, but you can call me Albert O." I understand it's difficult to say. He made a great catch here. 7-0 Missouri very quickly.
Forgot about the turkey? Get your head back in the game at the Mattress Firm Sleep Giving Sale. Get a free adjustable base with mattress purchases over just $500. And as always, get our 120-night sleep trial and low price guarantee with any mattress purchase. Hurry in to Mattress Firm.
Hi, I'm Mark Muller. There's always more to love at Muller Subaru in Highland Park during the Subaru Share the Love event. And we've been sharing the love all year long with amazing local organizations like Dare to Try Paratriathlon Club. Plus, Subaru is donating $250 per vehicle purchased to a charity of your choice. With more inventory and a brand new showroom, Muller Subaru in Highland Park is sharing the love all month long. And I'm here to make sure you will not be disappointed.
Drew Lock to Albert O, 7 yards, 7-0 Missouri over Vanderbilt. Barry Odom had his first ever SEC win last year against Vanderbilt, 26-17. Tonight he's looking for his first ever SEC road victory. He's 0-6 in the Southeastern Conference. Now 9-13 overall in his second season. How about this turnaround for Missouri in 2017?
A heck of a job the last few weeks, and he's got this team believing. Tell you what, that was a nice drive by Drew Lock. Perfect on the drive through the air, and a couple of nice runs as well.
Jamari Wakefield lets it go over his head, and Vanderbilt will start at the 25-yard line. Kyle Shermer, 21 touchdown passes this season, needs one more to match Whit Taylor. Single-season record at Vanderbilt with 22. Junior from Philadelphia had a tough Saturday against Kentucky 7 days ago.
Yeah, he's going to need to match scores with Missouri. And the thing here is you want to take the methodical approach and keep a hot offense on the sideline. That'll be part of their game plan defensively, is this offense methodically working its way down the field. You don't want to get in a shootout against Missouri if you're Vanderbilt.
This tailback in school history, Ralph Webb, standing about 7 yards behind him. He gets the first carry, and he might have gotten a yard as Brandon Lee came up to make the tackle.
Yeah, he's been playing some pretty good football the last couple of weeks. Brandon Lee has all the tools to become a great player. A redshirt junior, very, very smart, knows this system. Tell you what, he has had one heck of a run the last couple of weeks. 5 tackles in last week's game against Tennessee.
Give Webb nothing. Is now Wakefield. Will stand next to Shermer on 2nd and 10. Kyle goes underneath, and that catch made is by Sam Dobbs. It'll be 3rd and 9, down to Olivia.
Well, Taylor, a lot of this success that you're seeing on the Missouri defense has a lot to do with Coach Odom playing these young players, but more importantly, sticking with them down the stretch when things got hard. You know, he actually increased their game reps and trusted their development, which required more work from him and his staff. He said they all really became better teachers in the process, all in a season that experienced a big staff change. He fired his defensive coordinator. All position coaches had to take on more in their roles, and he saw it really pay off last couple weeks.
Perez Hall made the tackle on that 1-yard play, and now Shermer looking down the field, telegraphs the interception, and it is picked off by Adam Sparks.
Yeah, one of those true freshmen, underclassmen that Olivia just described. Adam Sparks, good young player, stepped right between Kyle Shermer and his intended receiver. You see him just lock on Caleb Scott right there, and his eyes just took Adam Sparks right to the football. Saw him, made a nice break on the football, a wet field, unable to keep his balance, but it's going to set up Missouri, this hot offensive Missouri, in point-blank range here about the 31-yard line.
One of my favorite reports Olivia has done this year was on the Sparks family. Adam and his brother Jared played against each other this year in the Purdue-Missouri game. You think the Sparks family's going crazy tonight after that interception?
Yeah, he could really be a special player going forward. And Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Dutchtown High School, true freshman, Adam Sparks.
So Drew Lock with terrific field position starts this drive from the Vandy 31. And the carry goes to Witter, and he'll lose a couple of yards as he is stopped in the backfield. Nephi Lelau, big defensive tackle, has had a terrific career playing his last game in Nashville tonight.
Yeah, Derek Mason told us if this defense is going to be successful, it's got to go through Nephi. He's got to be the tone setter, a guy that can defend against the run. He's versatile, can play both end and nose tackle.
Loss of 2. Fake to Witter. Locke rolls out, nothing there. Will try to just scamper ahead, and he'll slide ahead near the 27-yard line as Oren Burks was there with him.
Once again, that athletic ability of Drew Locke, all 6'4" of him, 225 pounds in the open field. You'd forget about the wheels, and he forces the defense to play 11 on 11.
Scoring opponents 83-19 in the first quarter, and already a 7-0 start as Vanderbilt calls timeout there.
I think it's a smart timeout by Derek Mason on a big down here. 3rd down and medium. Needed the timeout to get his team settled in, but Missouri leading it 7-0 over Vanderbilt.
SEC Saturday Night is presented by Holiday Inn Express. Be the readiest.
20 seniors honored here tonight playing their final game in Nashville, Tennessee, all getting hugs from their families and from Derek Mason. 17 of them have started at least 6 games for Derek Mason, or James Franklin for that matter, in the last 5 years. They're actually honoring a 21st player in Kari Blossingame who will be eligible to return next year, but academically will graduate at the end of the calendar year.
Very, very productive senior class in this Vanderbilt program.
3rd and 6, and another fake, and Locke goes ahead and is tackled at the 25-yard line. That's shy of the first down, as it's Josh Smith that makes the tackle. It's 4th down.
Decision time for Barry Odom. And he's leaving the offense on the field.
They're completely into the wind here.
Yeah.
That's 42 yards away for Tucker McCann. And to your point, it's 4th and just about 4.
Not much luck in this situation. 2 of 8 on the season. That's just 25% on 4th downs for Missouri.
Need to get to the 21. Locke under pressure. Leilau chases after him and forces an incompletion as Locke overthrows Albert O, and it's a turnover on downs.
Well, nice job playing complementary football. The defense helping out or bailing out the offense. Nephi with great pressure to force Drew Locke off his drop, his initial drop of getting him to move and then getting him to get rid of the football a little bit sooner than he wanted.
He whipped Tristan Castillo.
Yes, he did.
On that play to give Vanderbilt the football back. So Cal Shermer, second drive after an interception on the first, threw 4 picks last week. All of them weren't his fault. He did have 2 batted balls, but that last one was one I know he would like to have back. We have a false start. Tonight's referee is John McDade.
False start. 16. Offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
You know, Kyle Shermer had only thrown 3 interceptions the entire year going into last week's game. He threw 4 in last week's game. First series of the game tonight, he tosses another one, and that one was on him. He had 2 of the ones last week were tipped balls at the line of scrimmage, and then the other 2 poor decisions. But the first one here, certainly a poor decision.
Quick throw to C.J. Duncan, and Duncan can't get much there. It'll be 2nd down. Take a look at tonight's starting lineup for the Commodores.
Yeah, I just think the tight ends, Nathan Marcus, We'll see him try to stretch the middle of the field. Had a big catch in last week's game. And Jared Pinkney, I would include him in there as well. They're 1 and 1A in terms of starters at tight end. They're going to have an opportunity with the way Missouri plays this Tampa 2 look to get right down the middle of the field and give Kyle Shermer a couple of options.
2nd and 14 for the Commodores. Almost 6 minutes in to the first quarter. We were delayed by a tornado and lots of wind and rain for 30 minutes. And on the end around, that's Webb, and Webb gets ahead near the 23-yard line. Not much. It'll be 3rd and long.
Andy Ludwig trying to find every way possible to get Ralph Webb going. Between the tackles in the first drive, unsuccessful, and there, the end around to get him some momentum moving towards the line of scrimmage. Missouri, impressive defensively here early in the ball game.
Man, Webb has started 48 straight games. Ever since his first game as a redshirt freshman. Last 3 with sore ribs. He is banged up, but out there again tonight. 3rd and 13. Shermer has a man open, and it's incomplete, just off the fingertips of Trent Sherfield.
Yeah, one of his favorite receivers, the team's deep threat. He is a playmaker, and as you mentioned, just off the outstretched hands, he's wide open. That is wide open, and one you have to hit against the freshman, Adam Sparks, who had the interception on the first drive of Vanderbilt. Trent Sherfield got behind him, and that's one that Kyle Shermer, when he's watching the film tomorrow, is going to wish that he had back.
Sam Lloyd, just under a 40-yard average, will punt it deep to Rashad Floyd, standing on his own 35-yard line. Lloyd barely gets it off as Missouri comes after him. He screamed Peter at it, but it takes a terrific bounce. And the roll went about twice as far as the flight. It'll be marked down at the 24-yard line. That's a 53-yard punt, really close to being blocked. Vandy dodges a bullet.
Discover for yourself the largest Audi dealership in all the Midwest.
The season of Audi sales event is going on now at Audi Morton Grove. Lease a brand new 2018 Audi A4 Ultra for just $349 a month, or lease a brand new 2018 Audi A6 just $449 per month.
From my family to yours, welcome to the all-new Audi Morton Grove.
Hi, I'm Michael Rosengarten, president of Northbrook Toyota. It's a great time to buy. Right now at Northbrook Toyota, save big on SUVs. Get a zero-down lease on a new 2018 Toyota RAV4 for just $239 a month with zero due-it signing. Or lease a new 2018 Toyota Highlander with zero due-it signing for just $369 a month. No reasonable offer will be refused. At Northbrook Toyota, we drive your dreams.
We're not winning games yet, but we will. I'm the man to go get it done with this staff, with this team, with this program. This ain't dark days. This is when the going get tough. You build in together, you fight together, and you go find a way to get it done. I want to get one thing real straight. I'm going to win here. That's going to happen. We will win.
It's a guarantee, and he was right. They've won 4 games in a row to get to 5-5, and you see the difference between the first 6 games of the season and the last 4 in terms of points, and just how much better their defense has played. All the turnovers they've created. They've done that again tonight with Sparks' interception. Locke wants to go to the air. Will, one-on-one to the sideline. Incomplete, and here comes the flag. So looking for Jonathan Johnson. Looks like they're going to call Taron Ferguson for getting there early.
Yeah, Ferguson has starting experience. A career high 51 tackles last year as the team's nickel, but I don't know about this. He's got every right.
Number 3, defense. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Every right to the football. He turns to make a play on it. He's got a receiver climbing his back. I mean, just that's a let him play. I don't know about that at all. I mean, he's turning around trying to make a play, and you got the receiver, Jonathan Johnson, going over his back as he's trying to make a play on the football. I think it's a bad call. That's a play on in my book, and I'm an offensive guy.
Zoo from the 39 and maybe a couple for Roundtree. So that Odom speech, many were taken aback by it. Felt like maybe it was a plea for him to stick around, and given all the fire he was feeling after that 51-14 loss. I asked him about it earlier this week, Andre, and he said, I wanted the team to know that I had their back publicly. That's why I said that night. Everyone in the locker room already knew I felt that way, and they were on board, but I wanted them publicly to know that I had their backs, and he clearly proved it by doing that. A flag and a false start.
No doubt about
77, offense, 5-yard penalty, second down.
Let's go down to Olivia for more on that.
Yeah, Taylor, Coach Odom said he felt like he had been fairly reserved up to that point. And you're right, his audience was more or less his own football team. They had those talks behind closed doors, like you said. And offensive coordinator Josh Heupel said the vibe around the building now is calm, confident, quiet. A big credit to Barry's leadership.
Chance to finish 7-5 after a 1-5 start. Bubble screen does not materialize as Locke was looking for Roundtree. And we have some jawing going on after the play. 3rd and 13.
We got some quick pressure right up the middle by Jordan Griffin, who's having an outstanding season. Right here, times the blitz just right as Missouri's trying to set the screen and disrupts the timing of everything.
Vandy defense got off the field last time with Missouri in their territory, trying to do the same thing on a 3rd and 13 from Mizzou's own 36. And another flag.
Yeah, Jamon Moore jumps. You never expect a receiver
Offense, 5-yard penalty, third down.
To do that when you're on the outside looking all the way in. You'll see him right here. Just get a nice head start, trying to time the football, just waiting. Let it happen. To put a ball on what you guys were talking about with Barry Odom, a lot of coaches send a message through the media to the football teams.
He did it that night. Roundtree gets up to the 35, and
Charles Wright.
He came up and delivered a hit.
Team's MVP on defense to this point in the season, and you look at it, this Vanderbilt defense has saved their offense on 2 occasions, gotten themselves off the field, penalty aided in that one. Changed the play calling for Missouri, certainly.
Home game for Corey Fatone. He's from Franklin, Tennessee. He's one of the best in America with a 46-yard average. He's punting into the wind, though.
He'll celebrate, too, won't he?
He sure will. Andy comes after him. It's a low line drive kick, and it will take another great bounce here. And it'll be down to inside the 20. They're actually going to say that he touched it at the 22-yard line. So it's a 43-yard punt. And Kyle Shermer's going to need to find some rhythm here.
Yeah, I think it's important that Andy Ludwig find him a couple of easy throws, or maybe go back to this running game. And he abandoned it last week rather early against Kentucky. Found themselves trailing, a couple of turnovers, and then had to get out of the game plan quickly. I think it's still an opportunity to go back to Ralph Webb.
Saw his numbers on the screen. Lifetime against Missouri. He's never thrown a touchdown against them. Webb to the ground. That's how you get the Vandy offense going. He's right near the sticks.
And I sure enjoyed having our sit down with him yesterday. Very mature young man, and has all his business lined up, and just has life in the right, lives it the right way. Good student athlete, set to graduate.
Says he owes everything to his mother.
Yeah.
Bettina Davis, who's here tonight. She couldn't finish school, so she had to work for her sister, for his sister, and for him as Wakefield gets the carry up to the 39 for 6 yards. His sister, Latoria, and him are so grateful to his mother, Bertina, for going to work, not able to finish her education, so that Ralph Webb one day could be the first person in his family to go to a 4-year college and graduate. And he's graduating from one of the finest institutions in the world.
Started his career 4th on the depth chart when James Franklin was here, and then Derek Mason took over, and you talk about a player that made the most of the coaching change. It's the guy with the ball right now.
And he is just shy of the first down to be third and short, graduating with a sociology degree. I said, what do you want to do one day? And he said, play in the National Football League. And I said,
no hesitation.
Okay, all right, fine, National Football League. But after that, once you're old like me, what do you want to do? And he said, commercial real estate.
Yeah, he wants to own his own hotel, go into commercial real estate. It was a nice visit with him. Really, really admire. Has had a joy covering his career as a Commodore.
And on 3rd and 1, of course, they go to him, and he puts his head down and appears to have enough for the first down as Cale Garrett comes in to tackle. Webb came into the game tonight needing 45 yards for 4,000. You see the keys for Andre tonight.
Yeah, for Vanderbilt, who's got the ball, they got to protect the football. Unable to do so the opening drive and turned it over to Kentucky defensively. They've got to stop the run. They've been able to do that the last 2 possessions. Missouri defensively to win the line of scrimmage and slow down Ralph Webb, then establish the running game, which they've done so very, very early in the ball game. A big end around, and tried to find some trickery to contribute to this offense, and it turns out that it's a big loss for Vanderbilt. Now they're playing behind the chains here.
It's a 6-yard loss, the last thing that Vanderbilt needed after moving the chains. And Shermer alone in his backfield. And across the middle, nice throw to Sherfield, and he gets up to the 45.
I really like Trent Sherfield. Not talked about a whole lot, but I think this guy is going to end up in somebody's camp next year, and he's going to make a football team in the NFL. He's just a grinder. He catches just about everything that's thrown to him in his neighborhood, and he's got speed that I think the NFL and the scouts, once they start timing him, they're going to fall in love with this guy. He's a very smart player as well.
It's at the top of the screen. Let's see if they go toward him again on 3rd and 9 as the Tigers are offsides. It's a free play. And Shermer throws to Sherfield, but short of the first down, so instead Vandy will take the penalty.
Well, you got to throw one down the field to just get somebody up top. I think he had a tight end in the middle of the field. That's where you want to go. It doesn't matter if you throw the pick there.
Number 93 defense in the neutral zone at the snap. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
You're going to get the football right back. So shoot it down the field for a big play rather than a check down to Trent Sherfield.
It's Trey Williams, freshman from Columbia, Missouri, offsides on that play. So now the doors at midfield.
Big down here for Vanderbilt. I mean, I would even consider, you get half of it, get close to a first down, and Derek Mason's got to consider going for it.
We need to get to the 46. Shermer steps up and overthrows Sam Dobbs, but another flag comes in.
It's going to be a hold. It's the left tackle, Justin School.
Holding. 58 offense. Penalties decline. Play.
That gives you a sense of just how much wind is blowing tonight when you can't hear the officials' calls. Right there you see just a little bit of a tackle. I thought maybe that was an opportunity that Kyle Shermer may have pulled it down and maybe picked up the first down with his legs.
Lloyd with the win. Try to pin Missouri deep, and they can't get on top of it. Last-ditch effort fails as Tommy Schlager almost saved it, and instead it's a touchback for Missouri. Mizzou on top early, 7-0.
Every day is Black Friday at Berman's Star Nissan in Niles. It's not one day, it's not 1 week, it's the entire month. Non-stop, over-the-top sale of sales. Like this 2017 Rogue. Pre-driven and service for delivery, just $17,000. During the month-long Black Friday sale at Berman's Star Nissan on Toohey in Niles. Backed by Berman.
Taking a drive to see the holiday lights. Brought some candy so the kids don't fight.
Off to grandma's to celebrate. Had to detour, so we're gonna be late.
Get on the holiday road in a Honda Pilot. See your dealer for great holiday deals during the Happy Honda Days sales event.
Dory Nuka in studio. Want to update what's going on in Knoxville. 17-3 LSU. How about a little redemption? Marquez Callaway muffed 2 punts earlier. Gets a touchdown catch here. It's a 1-score game. Guys, glad you're done with the Thunder.
Every week they find some way. Well, I tell you what, those guys.
I watched them yesterday.
Those guys in Knoxville, they may be dealing with it in a little bit as that storm is heading that way. Option toss goes to Witter, and he gets past the 20 up near the 24-yard line.
And nobody in place for the pitch man, Ish Witter. Had one for the quarterback, Drew Lock, who made a smart decision in pitching it off to Witter, but nobody there for the pitch man.
Lock, quick throw, it's incomplete as Jamon Moore can't make the catch. Missouri is the fastest offense in America, just over 19 seconds per play. When they're really humming, they're around 13 or 14 seconds per play. And sometimes you wonder if it's a little too quick on a play like that. 3rd and 6.
Well, sometimes it can be that way when you get down inside the red zone. You want to take your time, make sure you have the right play called, and execute.
Lock just 2 of 7 at the start. Takes his time here. Stands tall in the pocket. Tries to throw the slant into coverage. Incomplete. Was looking for Jonathan Johnson. As you see, Tarin Ferguson says, no, sir.
Good position here, trying to run the slant. Got away with a little wraparound on Jonathan Johnson, so it's even now. Had a penalty called on him earlier. I didn't think it was pass interference, and there I did. And he got away with one, so all is even.
Put the 6-shooter belt on, put the guns back in the holster, too, after that. I like it. Fatoni has the whole Missouri team about coming after him there and gets the punt away. And it returned by Lipscomb down the sideline. There is a flag down.
Got a running into the kicker here. And then you're going to have a block in the back down around the 41-yard line or so, and both against Vanderbilt, which this will inch Missouri closer to a first down, but will not give them the necessary yardage.
To your point, it'll be 4th and just over 1 for Missouri at their own 29-yard line. And then a block in the back during the return. So Barry Odom trying to decide what he wants to do here.
Well, I think that speech that we just heard with him.
We have 2 fouls by the receiving team. Running into the kicker, number 84. That penalty's declined. During the return, legal block in the back of the receiving team, number 12. This penalty is accepted. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. First down.
Yeah, with Barry Odom, and just, sometimes you have to show others that you have confidence in yourself and what you're doing as the leader of a program, and that filters down through the team. As we heard him say that he wanted his team to hear it, and they started and responded to it. Here's the running into the kicker right there, and then here comes the block in the back right about there at the center of the screen on the Missouri players, and Still pretty good field position overall for Vanderbilt to start this drive.
They get it at their own 32-yard line, with Webb standing next to Shermer and a fake to him. Plenty of time to survey the field and deliver a strike out near the 50-yard line, and that's Donovan Tennyson. Tennyson with just his 4th catch of the season.
Yeah, they really like using him in the mold of Darius Sims, trying to get him on end around, speed sweeps and sorts. We'll see him, most weeks doing those types of things, and then all of a sudden they sneak him out on a regular little curl route.
In fact, he had the longest run of the year against Ole Miss that we saw, 48 yards, 17 in the air, make it 18 actually, 1st and 10. Shermer, and it's a little bit behind his intended receiver Sherfield, 2nd down. Garrett right there in coverage. Make that Duncan that he was going after. So 2nd down now.
And Duncan usually a sure-handed receiver and leads the team again. Led him last year with 44 receptions. This year he's got coming into tonight 1 reception more than Trent Sherfield. So both seniors have shared the football on the receiving end of things for Vanderbilt.
Webb dives ahead to midfield, but that's about it.
Yeah, run blitz on the part of Missouri, and Terry Beckner just blew everything up. They really didn't even need the linebacker. I think it was Garrett who was coming. Beckner had everything under control at the line of scrimmage. He is a load inside.
On fire in his last 5 games with 4.5 sacks. Into the first quarter, Missouri scores on the opening drive, a 7-yard touchdown pass from Locke to Albert O. The difference so far on senior night. As the Doors try to anchor down and get their 5th win, Missouri needs 1 more to become bowl eligible.
I give up. Who wants ice cream?
Me. The 2018 Highlander with Toyota Safety Sense at no extra cost. Safety for everyone. Tested, trusted Toyota. Right now, you can lease a new 2018 family-friendly Highlander for $299 a month. Toyota. Let's go places.
Hey, it's fan mail time at Highland Park Ford Lincoln Superstore.
Dear Alan Marty, just bought a car, and you guys are the nicest car dealers ever. Signed, Denise.
Well, nice is our motto.
That's how we roll, Denise.
It's right here on our business cards.
Alan Marty, super nice car guys.
Can't argue with that.
1-3 nice.
Right now, lease a 2017 Lincoln MKZ with all the luxury you expect for just $329 a month and 0 due at signing. Highland Park Ford Lincoln Superstore.
This is Alan Marty. Deal with us.
Derek Mason's Vanderbilt Commodores are 4-6, but they've lost 6 of their last 7 games after a 3-0 start. And after the Kentucky loss last Saturday, he said this: "I'm mad, I'm angry, it starts with me, I'm mad at myself. I talked to this group about expectations. We've got to get it right. We've got to get it right. We've got to get it right now. I can live with your best, but that wasn't your best. Let's go." Last Saturday's loss to Kentucky was one that he took personally.
It's a heck of a job as the leader of this program, and pretty much every week on a weekly basis, daily basis, gets the best out of his players.
3rd and 9 for his offense here. Shermer, middle of the field, and unable to make the catch is Duncan.
Well, we just talked about the sure-handed Duncan and how he catches just about everything thrown his way, both he and Sherfield. And I think he thought he had this one put away. He was trying to tuck it away and just lost control of it. Vanderbilt on 3rd downs against Missouri, getting to their last meeting. They were 3 of 14 in their last meeting. Today, 1 of 5 on 3rd downs.
This will take a favorable Vanderbilt bounce, and it is a 38-yard punt down at the 12-yard line. Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern, it's the latest Thinking Out Loud presented by Regions Bank with Greg McElroy and Marcus Spears. We'll talk football news of the week from both sides of the ball and encourage your participation through social media and live call-ins throughout the show. It's also available streaming live on the ESPN app. Locke just 2 of 8 for 18 yards, but that first drive, he was moving the ball with rhythm, running it for 25 yards, and then throwing the 7-yard touchdown pass to Albert O. Last couple of possessions, though, have been a different story.
I think Josh Heupel's got to find him a couple of easy throws to get him settled into this ball game. He was only 13 of 28 last week against Tennessee, but they hung half 100 on the Volunteers.
Zone 12. Throws the deep ball, and it's too far in front of Emmanuel Hall.
Well, he is a good young player. Williams, with all that length and speed, played in all 13 games last year as a true freshman. He'll battle wide receivers, has excellent cover skills.
Sophomore from here in Nashville. Shermer on the slant, and he laid out Jamon Moore, and a flag comes in as Trey Herndon made that hit.
Just separated the receiver from the football.
Personal foul, targeting, defense. This play is now under video review.
Herndon, the senior from Chattanooga.
I don't know. No way. This one should be overturned. Right under the shoulder pad. I mean, under the shoulder, which is not. I don't see that one as being targeted.
Let's watch it in real time.
Didn't lead with his head. You can't lead with your forearm or your shoulder pads to the head area, but he hit him on the side of his shoulder pad.
I think what.
It's absolutely great job.
The play is second down.
It is a right
Great
call.
job to the replay officials. Absolutely.
Steve Landis, tonight's replay official, overturning it up here in the press box. There was some brief helmet-to-helmet contact, but Herndon never led with the helmet, and he did lead with that right shoulder, as you said.
I mean, the sound may have sounded like helmet to helmet. I don't know if it actually got there. It looked a little like it. I agree with you in that sense, but that was the right call to overturn it and let him play on.
And a good job to do it that quickly, too. 3rd and 10. Looked like the doors might be offsides as Locke again tries Hall on a go route, incomplete, and the flag does come in.
Sure what this one's about.
Offside. Number 6, defense in the neutral zone at the snap. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Yeah, Zaire Jones, the redshirt freshman, and they were off the field once again. This defense, you got to commend them. They got rolled up in that first drive by Missouri, and ever since they have answered the bell for Derek Mason.
10 plays for 21 yards on those last 3 possessions. And again, Vandy's offsides, and Locke's got a free play. He goes one-on-one, and it's caught. And it's Jamon Moore streaking towards the end zone, one-man defeat, and he's tackled near the 10-yard line as Ladarius Wiley prevents the touchdown.
Well, you can't give up on any play. You see the flag come out and for a quick second.
Number 34 defense in the neutral zone to snap. Penalties decline. Result of the play is a first down.
Boy, Herndon just mistimes it. And this is what they do. This is why the completion percentage from Drew Locke isn't very high, because they will continue over and over again to take shots like this down the field to Moore and to Hall. And if they complete 1 or 2 of them a game, I mean, Now they're staring at the end zone again.
You see their 50-yard plays. Moore's got 5 of them this year. That was 71 yards. Perfect pitch on the option play. And Roundtree is marked out inside the 1 near the goal line. He thought he scored.
Yeah, the true freshman thought he was in the end zone. I thought he was originally, but maybe a touchdown. See, where's the ball when he finally steps? Does it ever cross? The line continues, so this may be a touchdown.
Roundtree, the freshman from Raleigh, at 155 yards rushing and a touchdown last week against Tennessee. And 3 touchdowns against Florida, has really come on after the injury to Demarie Crockett, and injured his shoulder against Georgia right before this winning streak began. And strongly as Crockett was running to start the season, Missouri's gotten better on the ground since he's been banged up.
That's a tough angle to overturn it, but you see the ball, and his left foot is still in bounds as it crosses the pylon, which is on the outside of it. Not be surprised at all if this is overturned.
So Steve Landis just overturned targeting on Vanderbilt a moment ago.
After video review, the runner had his foot on the goal line with the ball outside the pylon. By rule, touchdown.
Yeah, because the end zone just kind of continues on outside, and if he's in bounds as he crosses the pylon with the left foot clearly in, it's a score.
So to start the first quarter, Missouri scores a quick touchdown, and they do the same thing here in the second quarter. For a couple of offsides penalties, a free play for Missouri changes everything on a 71-yard throw to Jamon Moore. McCann's extra point is good, and it's 14-0 Tigers here in Nashville. Option pitch to the freshman Roundtree into the end zone.
Nobody chooses to get cancer, but you can choose how to fight it.
At Illinois Cancer Specialists, we offer breakthrough clinical trials to patients in our communities,
including the latest in immuno-oncology therapies.
These promising new treatments harness your own immune system to fight your cancer.
And through our affiliation with U.S. Oncology Research, new immuno-oncology trials are opening.
If you've been diagnosed with cancer and want to see if a trial is right for you, choose Illinois Cancer Specialists.
Our only care is you.
Forgot about the turkey? Get your head back in the game at the Mattress Firm Sleep Giving Sale. Get a free adjustable base with mattress purchases over just $500. And Black Friday weekend, get the new Sonos One smart speaker with select purchases. Hurry in to Mattress Firm.
Allstate is proud to be part of the team that comes together to do good by contributing to participating universities' general scholarship funds for each field goal and extra point kick. To date, Allstate has contributed millions in scholarship funds. Appreciate their participation in college football. 14-0 Missouri over Vanderbilt. 13:43 to go here in the second quarter. Olivia, Andre, and Taylor with you on a cold, somewhat windy night in Nashville. We saw a huge storm come through the area a couple of hours ago that delayed the kick by 30 minutes. Tucker McCann kicks it deep for the Tigers. It's Wakefield from the 3. McCann with a perfect directional kick to get his kick team down the field, and they stop Vandy at the 10. Boy, Vanderbilt's offense has been struggling so far tonight. Take a look at the drive chart.
Yeah, you see here the interception on the first drive, and then 3 consecutive punts by this Vanderbilt offense, and it's reaching the point in terms of field position and Missouri's success on offense, where Vanderbilt and Andy Ludwig, they had to do it last week, had to abandon the game plan. Just down 14-0. I wouldn't panic quite yet, but they need to find the scoreboard.
Shermer under center. To Webb. Gets a block and gets past the 15.
Boy, you're talking about an inch from a foot race. And Cale Garrett making that tackle. I mean, about an inch. Garrett makes a nice tackle. There is a hole right here. Nice block by Jared Southers pulling around. And if Garrett doesn't make that play, it is a foot race with Ralph Webb to the end zone.
Lead tackler for the Tigers, stopping Webb after a 5-yard gain. Ralph with 21 yards on 7 carries. Missouri threatening to come after Shermer here. Underneath to Ralph, and he'll move the chains on the reception to the 22-yard line. 7-yard reception for the senior from Gainesville, Florida. He was recruited by Boston College, by Minnesota. Thought about going to play for the Golden Gophers, loved their locker room, but instead committed to James Franklin and the Vanderbilt Commodores, but said the connection that he has built with Derek Mason is one that'll last a lifetime.
He's become certainly one of the leaders of this football team, and before it's all said and done, but depending on the outcome of the season, could finish as one of the top 5 all-time in the SEC in rushing.
Is left again, tries to get the corner, and it's Garrett who wrestles him out of bounds. Let's go down to Olivia.
And remember that Ralph Webb is playing a little bit banged up this week. It started with a rib injury. Now it's just kind of wear and tear of the season. He did not miss a practice this week. And in fact, he's been really vocal. You know, senior night, season's ending. He has a sense of urgency that he's trying to spread to the team. And also an increased role this game. He only had 9 carries last week, 3 receptions. They want to get him up to maybe 20 tonight.
He's never missed a start in his Vanderbilt career.
They go to him again, and he gets to the 25-yard line, and Garrett is all over the field.
Think about that for a second as a running back and the wear and tear on your body each and every game. Certainly you get this late into the season, there's something bothering you, but Ralph Webb, the model of consistency for this Vanderbilt program, just continues to show up each and every week and just goes about it doing his job.
Needs 16 more yards to pass Anthony Dixon from Mississippi State for 9th all-time in rushing in the history of the Southeastern Conference. This is a 3rd and 7 for Shermer, and the door is here. Good throw and catch made by Duncan, but he's a yard shy of the first down.
Just short, and that's where you wish Bledsoe makes the tackle on the back end, but that's where you're going to wish that he'd run the route just a little bit deeper. You get to the first down marker, it's just a little bit shy. Had time, certainly, to get there.
Offense, at least initially, was staying on the field.
Yeah, it's tempting for
at their own 31-yard line.
It's tempting for Derek Mason, but he realizes as well that that's a tough hill to climb. If you don't get it, don't make the first down yardage, and you give Missouri a short field and they score, that is tough to overcome.
Well, he gets the punt off with 2 on the clock. It's a low Australian line drive. Perfect. Barely got airborne, and it's marked down at the 17-yard line. That's a 52-yard punt.
Mirrors. They show us all our problem areas, those places where we carry excess fat. Perhaps you've noticed that your clothes don't fit the way they used to. Cool Sculpting targets and eliminates fat in problem areas such as your abdomen, flanks, and thighs. Love what you see in the mirror. Check out our new and improved dual Cool Sculpting at Malamed Weight and Wellness in Deerfield. Call today for your free consultation at 847-418-3308.
SEC Saturday Night is brought to you by Cooper Tire. Count on Cooper, an American company since 1914.
We saw the wind and the rain that we had to deal with at the start as the Doors took the field on senior night. Blustery conditions, calmed a bit as the temperatures are in the mid-40s. Very different from the way it was 24 hours ago. I was ready to take you on the golf course.
It was nice. It was shorts weather. 24 hours ago, and now we're sitting here with hand warmers and heaters going. You have the works. But that's how it is. It's that time of year.
Drew Lock, a 71-yard throw to Jamon Moore on a free play with Vanderbilt offsides. And now, scampering free is Ish Witter into the Vanderbilt secondary for 17 more yards to the 34-yard line.
Last line of defense, number 5, Ladarius Wiley. Watch him come up, and this isn't an easy task. Open field with Ish Witter, who's got a lot of jelly in his running game.
It's a perfect throw to Moore to the sideline for a handful.
That was one heck of an open field tackle on the back end by Wiley to save a touchdown run by Ish Witter. And Drew Lock, somewhere around 4 of 12 for just under about 95 yards or so.
Witter breaks free again, and now he's past midfield up to the 49-yard line.
And I say that because only one throw or one play was the 71-yarder to Jamon Moore. So the defense has done its job pretty much in the passing game and have gotten themselves off the field, but now starting to play a lot of snaps. And you see Ish Witter needing to take a breather, and we'll see a lot of Larry Roundtree, the true freshman.
Looks like Torrent Ferguson, senior from Jonesboro, Georgia, is down.
Like they're working on his ankle, the ankle area.
You know, Andre, you were saying, you and Derek Mason were talking yesterday about how much he loves his football team. He coaches a bunch of great guys that are all filled with character, that are going to go on to be successful in life.
Yeah.
But the one thing that's missing from this football team in the last 2 months has been an edge.
Yeah.
And he is searching for that with 2 games remaining.
Yeah, guys that, some leadership, some guys that can step up when, times like where they are right now in the game to motivate this team. Where's the voice going to come from? And that's what he's waiting on, or has waited on the majority of the season, for that one voice to really step forward when some adversity happens to his team, like the big pass to Jamon Moore. Who's going to step up, get this team going, and find a way to get off the field?
We'll take a look at what happens to Ferguson here. Makes the tackle on Ish Witter. Comes down off the field.
He's kind of limping right there, trying to get off the field, and it's one of those things when you're playing against a hurry-up offense, you find any way you can to stop the clock. And I don't doubt for 1 second that Ferguson was hurt, but he couldn't get off the field in time.
12-yard carry for Witter on the last play. Ish gets it here and gets up to the 46-yard line.
A highly competitive player who works hard each and every day. Now, when he wasn't a starter, he practiced like he was. When Damari Crockett was in the lineup starting, he still worked his tail off.
Do you remember what Drew Lock told us at the beginning of the year about this guy?
Yeah.
He still had a lot of confidence in Ish Witter and said it was hard to see Ish on the sideline, even though Crockett was playing well, because of what he means to Lock in his offense.
Well, you see what he means here, and he stepped right in for Russell Hansbrough after he graduated.
4 yards for Witter on the last play, and this will get a few. Inside the 45.
It's good to have depth. They've got it at running back, and Witter and Roundtree, and next year they'll have Crockett back. They're working on 5 in a row tonight is Missouri, and trying to get themselves bowl eligible.
Over 100 yards rushing tonight. They had 433 against the Volunteers last Saturday night. Option, and Lott keeps it himself, and he is stopped short of the first down. Tackle made by Josh Smith, fourth down.
And a nice job there by Smith, and they had someone to account for the pitch man, which was Jordan Griffin. They've been running that play. They're going to go quickly here.
Very quickly on a 4th and 2, and Smith's there again.
Well, you got to take your hat off if you're wearing one and tip it to this Vanderbilt defense. What a job that they've done. And now it's time for the offense to reward this Commodore defense.
A hat, maybe a toboggan tonight. Smith gets Vandy off the field.
I'm Rick Shoemaker from Rick's Auto Care and Collision Repair in Highland Park. Cars today are changing quickly. More and more computers, lighter weight steel, lightweight aluminum, and the repair methods are totally different. Our technicians are well trained and equipped. We're an iCar Gold Class shop, and we're recognized for the proper training and equipment.
I refer Rick to all of my family and friends. He does an amazing job.
Rick's Auto Care and Collision Repair, serving Highland Park in the North Shore since 1971.
At First Bank of Highland Park, we want to put the equity in your home to work for you. You've worked hard to build equity in your home, and your home is one of your most valuable financing tools. Using the equity you've built in your home is a smart, affordable way to borrow money for virtually any purpose. Home improvements, vehicle purchases, debt consolidation, education expenses, or even financing your family vacation. Contact us today and let us show you what we can do for you.
Commodores need to get going on offense. Haven't been helped out so far. A couple of drops by their receivers.
Yeah, got to play some complimentary football. Sherfield, C.J. Duncan, guys that usually are sure-handed receivers. Got to come up with some big plays to help Kyle Shermer as well to keep this defense on the sideline, give them a break, and then it filters over to Missouri's offense as well. Missouri, as hot as they've been the last couple of weeks, you don't want to continue to give them shots or chances to score.
So Andy Ludwig watching his quarterback, Shermer, roll out and throw the interception. It's picked off by Lee. Lee's got blockers in front. He slips the tackle and scores. 42-yard pick six for the junior from Indianapolis.
That's one that Kyle Shermer should have just thrown away. He tries to force one in. And Lee, who we talked about earlier, is having one heck of a run during this winning streak. All the linebackers, Hall, Garrett, and now Lee, playing some pretty impressive football. That is a big-time pick six, Taylor Zarzor.
Fourth down stop. You thought that maybe Vandy had a little momentum there, but instead Shermer telegraphs another one. This is his sixth interception in the last two games.
I mean, he is staring it down. You've got a guy in the pocket of I think it was Dallas Rivers. And he forces it in there anyway. Lee steps right in front and then finds his way to the end zone. That's a heck of a play. Just can't believe that Shermer threw the football.
Missouri +4 in turnovers in their 5 wins. They're -10 in their 5 losses, and they're already +2 tonight.
Oh, this is where you got to find some resolve, where you got to find some fight. Where you're down 21-0, it's a chance to get your team back to a bowl game, one play at a time. You're not going to do it, and all of a sudden you magically tie this thing up at 21 because of Missouri's pace of their offense and their ability and playmakers to score. But you've got to find some way to be consistent and move the football down the field and get your team into the end zone.
Shermer's had an outstanding 3 years here in Nashville. The junior from Philadelphia, of course, is Father Pat, the offensive coordinator for Minnesota. But this is the time that, as you see him, pat Derek Mason on the back saying, "I'm fine." He needs to get something going. And he'll start from his own 25-yard line. The ESPN app is a fan's best friend. Stream every ESPN and ABC college football game live at home or on the go. You'll get access to scores, news, and highlights all season long. Download the ESPN app to start streaming now. During one of Nick Rude's world-famous production meetings today, we were streaming that Miami-Virginia game, and that turned in a hurry.
It really did. I think I think they're the second best team in the country, and that would be one heck of a matchup if at the end of the year you got the U against the Tide of Alabama. It'd be one heck of a game. They've got a long way to go before that happens, though.
So does Vanderbilt to get back into this game. Shermer tries to sideline into heavy traffic, and it's incomplete. He was looking for Lipscomb. You see Acey there, DeMarcus Acey right with him.
A true sophomore, played last year as a true freshman, and an opportunity, another one that maybe should have been caught. Tough catch, but those are the ones on a cold day when a quarterback's struggling, you got to find a way to help him out.
Quick throw to the sideline, and it's Acey again.
Acey's listen to this one in real time. Look at Marcus, got to throw your body out there or something, because you're going to get your receiver killed if you don't find a way to get that block. Look at this production by the defense the last couple of weeks. Yeah, no doubt.
So Sherfield loses 3 on that catch. It's 3rd and 13. Shermer underneath, dropped by Webb. It's 4th down. Quick 3 and out for Vanderbilt.
Well, a lot of drops. Lipscomb on this drive. Guys that don't usually do it. Ralph Webb. This is exactly what Derek Mason was talking about. When adversity strikes, you've got to find a way as a football team to get over the hump. It happens to everybody. You've got to find a way to fight back and find something positive to hang your hat on.
Under the wind punt. It is marked down for 34 yards. Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern, the SEC Network grants you an all-access pass to Ole Miss football for their game against Texas A&M. You'll get never-seen-before footage and sounds from pregame to postgame. SEC Inside, presented by Regions Bank. It's also streaming live on the ESPN app. Let's dial up that ESPN app real quick and scroll through. Ole Miss leads A&M 24-21 in the 3rd quarter.
Missouri, we talked about it at the top. During this run of this 4-game winning streak, they've averaged 250 yards. Already tonight, they're at 119 on the ground. I think that doesn't help a quarterback out.
During this 4-game winning streak, turned into 5 at night's end. Roundtree bounces off a couple of tackles for a couple. Missouri's outscoring opponents 155-36 in the first half during this 4-game winning streak. So getting off to a great start is a big deal, and it's continuing tonight.
With some help from the defense with a pick 6.
Rolls out. Unable to make the catch is Jonathan Johnson on the sideline. He had a big game there.
Coverage, Torrin Ferguson. He went right back at him, limped off the field or went down on that last drive. Last time Vanderbilt was on defense and trying to pick away at a scab.
Vanderbilt for the 3rd time tonight offsides, and this will be encroachment as there was contact made. Initiated by Jonathan Wynn.
It's the hand slap of
offside. 49 defense. Contacted the neutral zone prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Listen for the hand slap of Drew Lock. That's drawn off Vanderbilt right there. It's done. He's done it a couple of times, and that time it got Jonathan Wynn. Before he got, I think, maybe Jordan Griffin with it. Zaire Jones earlier when they were on 3rd down and they were off the field. They kept the drive alive that resulted in a score.
Blanton leaves the line now as a receiver. Some of the assistants say, now go to the backfield. Blanton's been in 3 places in the last couple of seconds. Blanton blocks for Roundtree, and Roundtree's inside the 35 down to the 31.
And And it's the block. Alberto. Kuabunam. It was a nice block to set Larry Roundtree free around the left edge.
Well done, Mr. Ware. 17 yards for Roundtree there. Inside the 30 he goes. Everywhere in Missouri's game notes it says anyone that tries to say this on television or radio should call him Alberto, and he gave his blessing on that.
Well, but I guarantee you one thing. Family likes to hear the last name.
That's right.
No doubt about it.
No, they're proud. Springfield, Illinois of the freshmen had a fantastic year. 2nd and 9. Lock. End zone as Johnson falls down. And no flag comes in as Ferguson says we're not throwing any flags here.
Boy, you know what? If you make a play, just make a play and turn around. Because if I'm in the game as a quarterback and I see all that celebration going on, guess who I'm going right back at? I'm going right back at Torrin Ferguson, and they are right back at the line of scrimmage again here on 3rd down. There's a lot of time to play. That's one play in a long football game against a passing offense. Pass first, run second. And they're going to come right back at you at some point.
39 from the 30. Lock wide open is Floyd.
Guess who?
And he walks in.
Guess who he just scored against?
30-yard touchdown throw as he beats Ferguson.
He's celebrating the play before, and then you give up a touchdown pass. And you watch that stuff as a quarterback, and you're going right back at the guy who's doing all the celebrating, making you look bad on an incompletion, and just the move right here, he just falls down on a corner route. Nice job by Rashad Floyd of keeping his balance and staying in bounds.
They're making sure upstairs.
And Derek Mason's letting him know about it. I mean, he is telling him exactly what we're discussing right now.
They confirmed that Floyd did some effective tiptoeing on the sideline and did stay in bounds. And the extra point is good. Locke started 2 of 10 for 18 yards since, 3 of 5 for 105 yards and 2 touchdowns. The latest, a 30-yard strike to Rashad Floyd, sophomore from Gulfport, Mississippi, tiptoes in.
Introducing the Explorian Series blender. Like every Vitamix machine, it has the extraordinary ability to chop vegetables, make hot soup, and even frozen sorbet in one simple container. It's healthy made easy. And for the first time, you can get this amazing multi-tool for just $299.95. That's 24 easy payments of $12.50 a month with PayPal credit, with free shipping and a 5-year warranty. But don't wait. Get true high-performance blending at a new lower price.
Ravinia Plumbing is recommended by more than 95% of their customers. Here's one.
My family and I have been using Ravinia for over 10 years. We had a surprise in our basement when we noticed there was some kind of a leak in our theater room. So we called Ravinia right away. We knew they were the first people who would know what to do and how to figure out what had happened. They came within an hour of our phone call, and we knew we wouldn't have to second guess and that the work was going to be done correctly. That's why I recommend Ravinia Plumbing.
Regions Bank halftime report right around the corner. Doring, Chiswick, we will see you then for that. A lot of drama right now in Knoxville. You guys talked about the weather. It went through, and that's just part of the drama. Ole Miss A&M, score fest. What do you see?
It's still hard for me to believe this is the Missouri team from September and early October.
And great defense.
It's hard for me to believe it's the Vanderbilt team from September.
Yeah.
That's took the words out of my mouth there, Dari. I mean, they started 3-0. They looked so good in the win against Kansas State, but that Alabama game, it broke their spirit as they gave up almost 500 yards on the ground, and they were already down 28-0 in the first half at home. Missouri looking for their 5th consecutive win to become bowl eligible in Barry Odom's 2nd season. The first bowl trip in 3 years. Wakefield bobbles it and brings it out to the 24-yard lines. Take a look again at what happened on those last two Missouri plays on offense.
Yeah, you got the celebration here by Torrin Ferguson right at the camera. Missouri fans sitting there, and then you forget the quarterback sitting back there watching all of this. And Drew Lock goes right back at him with a corner route. You got a smash route concept where you get Jamon Moore underneath and the youngster going over the top. And Rashad Floyd, Ferguson slips down and Floyd makes him pay. A lot of football to play to celebrate on one simple play that should be automatic for a defensive back. And it's because of an overthrow and not really what you did as the player.
Starting the season 3-0, but have lost 6 of their last 7. Beat Western Kentucky, but 0-6 in conference play this year, a year after they went to the Independence Bowl and lost to NC State. Out Webb to the ground, and Webb past the 30-yard line. It's a nice run near the first down marker. Looks like he'll be half a yard shy.
Had a couple of big fellas in front of him, Justin School, and there's the consistent player, and I don't think I'm alone in believing this, in the last 4 years in this program. A guy that just simply gets it done. 3rd and 1, I turn around and give it right back to him.
Missouri and Garrett right after Webb, and they clog the middle of the field, and they don't let him to it. It's Rashad Brandon that's the first one to him.
Big Brandon, the redshirt junior college transfer, who's had some big-time ability. They rotate about 12 defensive linemen through to try to keep them fresh for 4 quarters, and Barry Odom started doing that just before this win streak started, and it's created a lot of depth in his defensive line.
Even further, Dre, they have 32 guys that typically play on defense. They go with a 3-deep lineup game by game. Off a couple of bounces, this is a good return by Floyd, who just scored that touchdown, tiptoeing the sideline again and staying in bounds. Gone. 75 yards for Rashad Floyd.
Made it look like he wasn't going to even field the punt. And then when he did, found a couple of creases. There was a block thrown, a big-time block that was thrown right on the sideline. You'll see it come right there. That's the one that cleans him up. Another one. And then it's just free, untouched into the end zone. And this is what Missouri will do to you. I mean, you have to slow them down by being consistent offensively. And Vanderbilt has not done that tonight, and Missouri's starting to make them pay.
Route is on. It's McCann's extra point is good.
Got it happening in all 3 phases. The offense scoring. You got a defensive pick 6 by Brandon Lee. And then this young man has found the end zone. Rashad Floyd, last couple of plays right here. Nice job of big fella getting a block in there. Number 96, I think it's A.J. Logan, throwing a block. That was the second magical block that freed him up. Brandon Lee threw the first one. A.J. Logan threw the second when they got Rashad Floyd into the end zone.
Second punt return for a touchdown this season for Floyd. Already 2 touchdowns in the game. And you wonder, because of the elements, if this might slow down the Missouri offense.
It hasn't.
And in special teams, think again. Pick 6s. They've scored in all 3 phases already. Pick 6, punt return.
Now if you're Andy Ludwig, you got to get out of that game plan. Now you got to go score. To find a way to get this offense moving and then get them into the end zone. A lot of time left.
Good return by Wakefield. Tonight after our game, tune into SEC Now as they'll have an in-depth recap of the day of games around the conference. No one covers the SEC like we do. You can also see it streaming live on the ESPN app. Next weekend, games are outstanding. You have the Iron Bowl, Alabama and Auburn, as the SEC West will be decided. Who will play the Georgia Bulldogs in Atlanta for the SEC Championship. All three of those teams are still in it for the college football playoff picture. Excited to be in Lexington, Kentucky to see Lamar Jackson and the Louisville Cardinals battle the Cats.
Well, I don't think it's getting enough love in terms of what he's done and Heisman Trophy consideration.
His numbers, in fact, are just as strong as they were
no doubt about
last year.
It's the overall team production's not quite there this season, but he has been every bit as electric as he was a year ago when he won the Heisman Trophy.
In my book, it's the best award, individual award in American sports.
And character matters.
I know it does to you. There's a big hit by Garrett there in the backfield as it's going to set up a third down, and I appreciate that about you, Andre.
It matters. I mean, you're talking, everybody's just handing this thing out, and to me, character matters. And you have to look into not only what a player does on the field, but what's done off the field, and how did you handle the controversy off the field. There's been no apology. There's been no, what happened. He hadn't missed a down, and I'm talking about Baker Mayfield. And the episode that happened this past April in Arkansas, that was caught on video. And so that matters to me.
I know you're not alone in that, and not only does your outstanding performance on the field, should that be evaluated, also how you represent the game of college football and how you represent the trophy forever. But getting back to Lamar Jackson, like you were saying, another great season this year, someone that I would like to see at least get back to New York as a finalist. So it's third down with Webb in the backfield with Shermer here, 3rd and 4 after the 3-yard loss on second down. Shermer under pressure, almost sacked and throws incomplete. A flag comes in, so he was looking for Duncan. Trey Williams almost wrestled Shermer to the ground.
Well, they are getting pressure.
Offside. Number 93 defense lined up in the neutral zone. The 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Well, that might be why. And you can, a head start certainly helps when you're talking about getting to the quarterback with just the front four. Trey Williams, 2 sacks on the season. A good edge rusher. A lot of guys. You got to keeping us working up here with all these defensive linemen in and out.
Middle of the field is open, and the catch made by Sherfield.
Now that guy will compete for a complete 60 minutes.
That's a 16-yard grab, and he has at least 2 catches in every game this season. 1:50 left in the half. Shermer steps up and will run. You don't see that very often. Garrett makes another tackle at the 47-yard line. Hale Garrett, sophomore from Kearney, Missouri, leads the team in tackles tonight and all season. And right here, he lights up Shermer in the backfield.
We talked to Barry Odom about Hale Garrett. Watch him time this blitz. Waits for the protection to set, finds the soft spot in the protection, and gets himself home with a quarterback sack.
Well, I just gave you his tackles. You want his sacks? He's got 3 of those now. 2 interceptions and a fumble recovery, too.
He's another guy that Barry Odom told us has really elevated his play during this 4-game win streak.
8 tackles in the first half. Webb. On a third down run, gets a block and gets the first down outside of bounds inside the 30. It's a big 28-yard reception there. Handed the ball at the Missouri 29-yard line.
It looked like Big Della Ripa was the guy that threw the block for Ralph Webb.
Underneath, waits too long for Dobbs. Incomplete.
Got to get that one out in front so Dobbs will have a chance to do something with it. First to catch it and then get you some yards after the catch. He is an excellent receiving tight end, solid route runner, and will catch it. But you got to throw him something out in front where he's got a shot.
Best drive of the night for Vandy so far, trying to put some points on the board before halftime. They will get the football first. Drops it, picks it back up, and there's a whistle there as they're going to say when he picked it up, his knee was on the ground.
I thought he just... Yep.
Second charge timeout of the half, Vanderbilt.
Definitely on the ground. Regan snaps it back there a little low, and Swimmer couldn't handle it.
Vandy calls their second timeout of the half. And now the ball's back on their own, or on the Missouri 35-yard line.
You look at turnovers, look at missed assignments, special teams plays. A lot to overcome in the first half of this game for Vanderbilt.
Coming up at halftime, you can watch the live performance of the Spirit of the Gold Marching Band on the SEC Network Plus. Start streaming now on the ESPN app. Spirit of Gold Marching Band in the house tonight in one of the best cities in America. 3rd and 16. Ari Blasingame has been banged up with turf toe in the backfield. Catch, no, incomplete to Duncan. He says he made the catch there. 19 seconds left on the clock.
Well, he missed one with Sherfield, who was left wide open around the hash mark. Everybody came up when they saw Duncan hook his route up, and Sherfield sneaks right behind him. Could have been close to the first down marker, right around the 20-yard line or so.
Vandy's going for it on 4th and 16, kind of no man's land from the Missouri 34. Shermer, end zone, incomplete. Looking for Sherfield. Flag comes in. Trey Williams, who's had some trouble.
Offside. 93 defense in the zone, neutral zone at the snap. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
He's had 3 of those tonight.
He's trying to time it, and he's listening to the clap for the snap to come up, and then trying to time it from there. There's been just a little bit of a hesitation by Bruno Regan, which is, you got to commend him for that. But
now 4th and 11. And this ball batted down at the line of scrimmage. Terry Beckner got a hand on it.
The big fella has just been outstanding all season long. Look at that. Just can't get there, get tall. He's already 6'4". Same height as the quarterback, Kyle Shermer, who's trying to drill one in. Then he elevates, get himself a little taller.
I got 3 words for you. National Football League.
Yeah, he's just a junior, but scouts are raving about him. He is an athlete, believe me, at 6'4", 305.
Missouri on the verge of winning 5 straight games, going to the half of 35-0. And they're not just winning, they are dominating each and every team they play. Halftime score, 35-0. We send it back to the studio. Dari, Doring, and Chiz.
Regions Bank halftime report is off and running. Dorian Oka, Chris Doring, Gene Chizik. I think that we thought at least at this point it wouldn't quite be out of control. I know we all like the way Missouri's playing, but what surprises you the most at this point?
I'm not going to talk about scheme. I'm not going to talk about personnel. I'm not going to talk about any of that. To me, it's about confidence and belief. And what I see from Missouri is a team that's confident now in this run they've been on. They fly around defensively. Offensively, they feel like they can't be stopped. 35 points in the first half. I mean, this is a team that we saw a couple weeks ago against Purdue that couldn't stop anybody on defense. They couldn't score against a bad Big Ten team. And now all of a sudden they're running through the conference like one of the best teams, one of the hottest teams in the conference. So I just really am enjoying watching this team's progression the last couple weeks.
Yeah, I think if you got to give the credit to Barry Odom, because ever since the Auburn debacle and the off week, it's changed. Mm-hmm. This team has completely changed, starting with the defense. They got A.J. Logan back as another inside defensive player. He was on suspension. I think you've seen that have a huge impact on the middle of their defense, so they're playing better run defense. Look what they're doing in terms of turnovers. Last week, they get 4 turnovers. Today, they've got 2, 1 pick six.
They scored in all 3 phases today.
They have. And again, it's we've talked about their offense every week because offensively, they've been lighting it up. Well, before this game, they're still lighting it up. They're averaging 54 a game in the last 4 games. This is just a team, like you said, they believe in what's going on. And here's the other thing. They're having fun playing the game. Yeah. Because it didn't look like that in the first 4 games of the year.
Man. You see all those guys kind of having fun out there, celebrating together, enjoying what they're doing.
Yeah, and Barry Odom's defense has given up all of 100 yards so far to the Commodores. It is a dominant performance right now. Here is Barry with Olivia Harlan.
Thank you, Coach. You've been talking all week about keeping your team focused and not looking ahead to secure a bowl game tonight. 35-0, scoring in all 3 phases. What are you seeing from your group?
Well, we're working well together, and right now offensively struggling at a couple of things. Defensively score, kicking game score. That obviously is good team football.
And you told us that Vandy quarterback Kyle Shermer could throw darts, but your defense has already got 2 of them. What are you doing best defensively?
Well, I think we've been able to get pressure with 4, which has helped more than anything. We've got to continue that. Obviously, it will be a pass game in the second half. So as long as we can get there with 4 and maybe bring a little more pressure, then we hopefully can match it up on the back end.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
Most points they've scored, by the way, in the first half of a game since they joined the SEC in conference play for Missouri. LSU, Tennessee, where the rain hit eventually, you'll see it, but Marquez Callaway, stone hands hit early. That was a problem.
Again, I'm going to say that the wind was a difficult thing to deal with. 15 to 25 mile per hour winds. Right. It only got worse from there.
It happened
Marquez
twice.
Callaway, obviously dejected, but he'll make up for it. Keep watching, Dark.
Oh, don't spoil it now. Touchdown, LSU. Darrell Williams.
There it is. Finally.
Next LSU possession, or rather Tennessee, I should say. Jarrett Garantano throws. Oh, here's your Callaway making amends.
I said early in the year, Chiz, this is one of my favorite receivers in the country. They don't get him the ball enough, but I love the way that he kind of has a nose for that ball in the air, makes some big plays down the field.
And he competes. Mm-hmm. I like the fact that he competes.
Yeah. Darius Geis, touchdown. So LSU goes up a couple scores again. 23-10, Tennessee 4th and 1. I feel like we've seen this a lot today around the league for whatever reason.
Yeah.
In your own end, taking a chance, doesn't pay off.
It's mostly with teams with sub-500 records, guys.
That's
really
a good
don't
point.
have anything to lose. Out there letting it all hang out.
Well, there's Williams.
It didn't help.
Yeah, that was their own 22 on 4th and 1, where Brady Hoke decided to go for it. And LSU is having no issues, no problems right now. This was a game, by the way, you'll see it in the late show tonight, SEC Now, where there was a time you could really not even see the football game. I remember an old Eagles-Bears game, the Fog Bowl once, where you couldn't even see it. It was almost like that because of the rain. But what have you seen from either LSU or Tennessee that you want to point out?
Well, it wasn't. This defense for Tennessee is not very good against the run, and in the weather the way it was, it became a game where you needed to run the football. LSU continues to get better and better. Their O-line gets healthier and healthier, and it just doesn't set up very well for the Vols, who really, again, we say every week, they fight hard in the first half and just kind of run out of gas in the second.
They do. You can't question their effort, but then conversely, Tennessee can't run the football, and that's the problem right now. You got weather conditions that really kind of mandate that you're able to run it. You got one team that can, LSU, and you got one team that can't. It's that simple.
It's a challenge. Offense at a premium right there for Tennessee. That's not the case in the next game. Texas A&M visiting Ole Miss. And these two teams, we figured were going to put up a lot of points, and they do put up a lot of points. And they started early putting up a lot of points. In fact, the opening drive for the Rebels.
You know how long it is from College Station to Ole Miss?
628 miles.
Those guys made the trip.
They did make the trip. Jordan Ta'amu to A.J. Brown. Look at that move.
Looks familiar.
Had one of those
last week,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, make people look really bad on tape.
They need to watch that Mississippi State people. Don't let him on that sideline give you that okey doke.
Yeah. Good point.
Bad.
Keith Ford.
Where's he been all year?
Sporadic.
Nice.
Sometimes he shows up, sometimes he doesn't. But you'd think against this defense they could do that.
They haven't been able to run the ball all year the way that we saw them do it last year. But against Ole Miss, as you mentioned, they should be able to run rush shot all year.
How about Jordan Wilkins?
Yeah,
137 yards on the
How many yards he got in the season?
Over 700, almost getting to 800. But I tell you, he shows up, and he's particularly showed up the last month in the run game.
Damian Ratley, the only player in the end zone there. Touchdown catch. That was easy from Nick Starkel. Then Starkel to Ratley again. That's not Starkel to Ratley. No. No, that would be an Ole Miss touchdown.
Yeah, from Ta'amu.
I'm going to get rid of something over here real quick.
Get rid of that shot sheet like we do.
Goodbye. Starkel to into the end zone. Touchdown.
Good move.
Yeah, that's the second time that's happened. We'll get rid of that thing. All right, third quarter. I'm watching right along with you guys. I don't know what's going on. Let's see. Oh, yeah, this is a problem here if you're Ole Miss. That's Derek Tucker. He's going to get his name in the paper. I bet Boog's going to tell us all about it here in just a little bit. 28-24 A&M as the scoring chiz has slowed somewhat here as we're late in the third. But
we need more points, don't we, boys? Where are the points?
Well, should we pull the curtain back? And
we just play fun little games.
It was a scoring carnival early, and Chiz thought it was going to continue.
It was dealer's choice.
I didn't think it was.
Score it, Will. It's like Oprah. You get a touchdown. You get a touchdown. You get a touchdown.
Not the case, but it certainly started out that way here. Who would you say benefits more from a win in this game tonight?
Because Kevin Sumlin.
Yeah,
this is a must-win for Kevin.
Is it that?
It's a must-win for Kevin Sumlin. Going on the road and playing a team that can score a lot of points, plus where he is and what he's got next week, must-win for Kevin Sumlin tonight.
No question.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
no doubt.
We'll see what happens. They're ending the third quarter over on ESPN2 right now, 28-24. Meanwhile, marching Mizzou is on the field at Vanderbilt. Halftime performance you can see by checking out SEC Network Plus. Now you want to see more Missouri? Here you go. It has been all Tigers. I mean, all Tigers. Pick six. Defense getting it done as well. Not just Drew Lock and the offense on this night.
This halftime report is presented by Regions Bank, proud to be the official bank of the SEC.
I understand this is a very white area.
They don't want me here, and they don't want these kids here.
The whole game, they was pushing, calling us the N-word.
This is stuff that should have made the national news.
How do you fire a coach that just won an All-A-State championship? These are my kids. This is my team. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not.
I got this.
Damn right you do.
That's actually really impressive.
Oh, did y'all feel that?
Wow.
Did y'all feel that?
Welcome back to the Regions Bank Halftime Report.
Dory Doring Chiswick, Mississippi State had won 4 of the last 5 against the Razorbacks, who badly need a win. In fact, they need to win their last 2 for bowl eligibility, and they had a good start up 14-zip, now 14 apiece. How about a break, Arkansas? Look at this ball. It gets kicked all the way to the 1, and they recover. 2 plays later, Devois Whaley finds his way into the end zone. They regain the lead 21-14. Arkansas ran, though, for fewer than 100 yards in this game. 97 to be exact. 21-14. Nick Fitzgerald throws, finds Reginald Todd. Down really their top 4 receivers from the beginning of the season. They still managed to succeed some through the air, and then 4th and 2, guys, own 44 in a tie game with 3 and change to go. They go for it, they don't get it.
Yeah, don't like the call. I would definitely play for field position. 10 yards to go to kick a field goal to lose it. I'm not taking that chance.
Dedrick Thomas from Nick Fitzgerald. That's your game winner. Mississippi State, slow start, but they managed to survive it. Meanwhile, senior day in Athens, Nick Chubb and family.
Cool to see big-time players like those guys stick around for 4 years and get up to celebrate with their incoming class.
Absolutely. How about that play from Sony Michel?
We see it all the time. I mean, the guy is amazing, and because he shares carries with Swift and Chubb, and this is a guy that could have probably been a much more decorated running back, but I love the way there's no selfishness between all these guys, Chis.
How about that burst? 55 yards from Nick Chubb, 3rd 1,000-yard rushing season. He also got to the 40 touchdown rushing mark. Only Herschel Walker had done that before. More on the 1,000-yard seasons as we move along in the evening. Louisiana Monroe and Auburn. Jarrett Stidham to Darius Slayton, 50 yards, but it took a while to get these guys going.
They did. They were sluggish at the beginning, and there's no doubt, but you see Slayton there. That's kind of become a common theme with big plays, and this obviously is a common theme with this guy's unbelievable. He carries the load. He can carry it as many times as you want him to. He's durable. Even in a game like this where you'd like to rest him, he never rests.
So this was a little different than last week. It wasn't the plodding long drives that we saw from Auburn's offense last week. It was about big plays, both in the passing game with some big runs, and the defense even got involved with a pick 6.
Guys, maybe we see a little more Cam Martin involvement, too, next week than we saw against Georgia. He really didn't do anything. Wasn't really on the field much against the Dogs. Certainly good, though, when he is, and to help with carry-on. Meanwhile, no Minka Fitzpatrick for Alabama on their senior day against Mercer. Jalen Hurts up top, Calvin Ridley all alone. How'd he get there?
Yeah, a little sluggo. That's one of my favorite routes. The slant, the little pump fake from Jalen Hurts, and the go route left the Mercer defender on his knees.
Just buckled his
bad
knees.
Position to be in.
How about Dylan Moses, outside to inside because of all of the injuries? How about a day? Interception, 10 tackles, 4 for loss?
I really love the way this young guy's come on. And again, this was a good game for him to get experience because they're going to need him to be productive in the Iron Bowl.
Tua Tagovailoa, 3 touchdown passes in relief of Jalen Hurts, who also had 3 touchdown passes. Next up, Auburn. And for the second time in the great history of this rivalry, this game will decide who wins the SEC West. The last time it happened, 2013. What happened then? A little something that has been known as Kick 6. All right, Drew Lock, couple touchdown passes in the first half. They've scored every way imaginable. That's Rashad Floyd staying inbounds. 35-0, Mizzou. What else happened in the SEC, gentlemen? Florida, home against UAB. Florida, the only team in the league that entered the day without the chance to get 6 wins. Eddie Pinheiro. How key is he?
Pretty much step across that 50 and you're in his range. That dude was accurate and long all day long.
He makes me nervous, though, with his reactions. I don't want him to, Martin Grammatica.
That's true.
Be careful. It's a 50.
He's a little guy, too, for having such a strong leg.
A couple of 50s, and here's another one. 5th field goal, this one from 42. He's all the entire highlight.
Say, when you got a guy like that you know when it's on the other side of the 50, he's going to knock it through. There's a lot of value in that.
Snapped a 5-game losing streak with that victory. Meanwhile, Sky Moore, sky is the limit. How about the limit at 14? That ties a career high for a career record for South Carolina interceptions.
Great interception.
Jake Bentley. I remember a year he got the heels a couple of times.
Yeah.
Just sorry to bring that
2 years ago. No problem.
Bentley to Brian Edwards. But you were coaching defense, so that was okay.
Yeah, I was looking to pass anyway, though.
South Carolina, a good way to go into that game eventually against Clemson next week. I mentioned Missouri. They've scored about every way that you can imagine. How about a punt return touchdown as well? You name it, they have done it. That would be Floyd again.
This halftime report is presented by Regions Bank, proud to be the official bank of the SEC.
Dinner. Throughout history, the one meal where we connect as a family. I said connect as a family.
1 second, voice guy.
What? Change the way you Wi-Fi with Xfinity X-Fi.
It's on. Like Donkey Kong.
I love to play games.
Hit reset and go back to the beginning.
This is how Mario got his lunch.
8-Bit Legacy, the curious history of video games, only on Watchable.
You're watching SEC Saturday Night, presented by Holiday Inn Express. Missouri gets a touchdown in all 3 phases in the first half, and they lead 35-0 here over the Vanderbilt Commodores. Andre, Missouri's firing on all cylinders, and Vandy is a house of horrors.
Yeah, complimentary football. They're doing it in all 3 phases of the game: offense, defense, and certainly special teams.
Let's take a look at how Missouri is the readiest this week, brought to you by Holiday Inn Express.
They got it started with a touchdown pass to Albert O, and then here the option. You get on the corner, putting pressure on the defense. Roundtree gets in the end zone. Then the pick 6 by Brandon Lee to the house. The defense got itself involved in the scoring. And then special teams with a return by Rashad Floyd. A couple of nice blocks set up by Brandon Lee, and A.J. Logan frees him up to the end zone. All 3 phases clicking for Missouri in the first half.
Passing, rushing, pick 6, punt return. Block's numbers aren't that impressive from an accuracy standpoint, just 5 of 15, but as usual, has used the deep ball through a 71-yard pass to Jamon Moore. Has 123 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. Vanderbilt will get the football first to start the second half, and Kyle Shermer, struggling, goes back to the field. Let's go down to the field and Olivia Harlan.
Yeah, guys, I talked to Derek Mason, and his message to his team at halftime was just stay the course. It starts with this first drive. You got to get on the board. But Kyle Shermer's 2 interceptions have hurt them, 1 for a score, and he said we cannot be turning the ball over like that. Also, just Ralph Webb averaging under 3 yards a carry, need to get some more production. And defensively, guys, they've got to eliminate the big plays. Rashad Floyd with a 30-yard touchdown catch. Jamon Moore, 71-yard catch. Coach Mason said they're not letting up defensively, but obviously disappointed in those big plays.
Shermer under center. The quick throw and a block. Lipscomb gets free. Kalijah Lipscomb into Missouri territory.
And he's got the speed as a youngster to make something happen, and you just need to figure out a way to get the ball in a playmaker's hands quick. Right here, nice job of splitting defenders, and then it turns into a foot race where the angle is just eaten up on the back end by Pruitt.
31 yards for the sophomore from New Orleans. Again at the line of scrimmage. This time it's Duncan taking on some tacklers and getting about 8 yards.
On a cold day, it's wet, rain earlier. It's tough on a defender to change directions. You know where you're going as an offensive player, and you've got the ball in your hands. The defender, it's tough to make those quick adjustments and make tackles in the open field. Let's do it again.
Same play each side 3 straight times, and it's a first down for Caleb Scott, second-generation Vanderbilt player. His father, of course, Chuck Scott, was an All-American back in the early 80s, and he's playing in his final game at home tonight.
It seems like he's been here forever, but I have loved following his career.
Fake to Webb, roll out to the big tight end Pinckney, and Pinckney breaks tackles inside the 10, and he's inside the 5.
Couple of great blocks. Just peeling back to help the big fella Jared Pinckney, and He's put on some weight this offseason, but big-time receiving threat who really emerged about the last quarter or so of last year. Had a couple of big games down the stretch. He's going to be a good player.
25 yards for the sophomore from Norcross, Georgia. Of course, his brother Jalen's a defensive lineman on the team. SEC all-freshman team in 2016. Mr. Webb, the deep back, and he gets hit immediately by Beckner.
Guess who?
Terry Beckner races Webb.
That is some quickness for a guy that's over 300 pounds. You talk about some ability. Best player on their defense is right there. Leads the team in sacks with 6 as a defensive tackle. Now that you need to say no more.
2nd and goal from the 6. Shermer rolling out, has to throw it away. Flag comes in. Therese Hall was pursuing Shermer.
That may be a hold on the defensive back, working against either a tight end or one of these receivers trying to get open.
Number 8, defense. Against an eligible receiver. Penalties half the distance to the goal line. They're an automatic first down.
Yeah, couldn't get the number, but Thomas Wilson's the guilty party. He's a steady player on the back end, but one of those receivers got behind him, or getting behind him. Could have been Pinckney or one of the ones that was in the backfield. You'll see him right here working against Dallas Rivers. There it is.
So a fresh set of downs from the 3. And here comes Missouri. End zone incomplete, and the Tigers jumped early into the neutral zone again.
Half the distance. Let's do it again. There's a song back in the
Offside.
day.
44, defense. In the neutral zone at the snap. Penalties half the distance to the goal line. First down.
Let's do it again. Let's do it in the morning. Sweet dreams in the summertime. How about that? Little karaoke last night. I heard you.
I heard you too. There is no one like our stats position, Kevin Maloney, though. That guy won the night.
That dude's an entertainer, big time. You missed his calling.
1st and goal. Inside the 2. Webb straight ahead. Dives from there.
Nice effort.
2nd effort, they say, still short.
What an effort. He tried to go old school Walter Payton and take off from about the 5. Look at that, just inside the 5-yard line, and was met midair by Cale Garrett. It was just a sophomore. Is going to be a good player for Barry Odom for quite some time.
Inside the 1. Webb. Touchdown, Commodores.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Just the determination, the will to get himself into the end zone. And you know he's not 100%. See him here, just take off. Old school. Rarely see that these days. That is a message run. The last 2 runs by Ralph Webb, that's a message to the rest of the team. That we're not going to quit. We're going to keep fighting, and I'm going to lead the way.
Openshaw's extra point is through, and the Commodores come out of the locker room swinging. Ralph Webb, the heart and soul of Vanderbilt football, in the end zone.
It's on. Like Donkey Kong. Press start.
I love to play games.
To get your favorite video games decoded.
This is how Mario got his look.
Unlock the secret keys before it's game over.
One of the greatest video game players who ever lived.
I wasn't expecting to change an industry.
8-Bit Legacy, the curious history of video games, only on Watchable. Ready, player one?
Whew. Love that dude. Ralph Webb is as good as it gets. I'll take that dude with me anytime, any place, anywhere. You know, he comes to practice. I know he's hurting. He gets through it. He works through it. But that dude has just been consistent. Nobody knew his name when he walked in here. Everybody's going to know his name when he leaves. And that's what's special.
10th all-time in the Southeastern Conference in rushing yards. He's just 9 away from becoming 9th. Can continue to climb that ladder. So on the field, his productivity speaks for itself. But what we get to see, Andre, is the man he is off the field. And that's the guy that's going to be successful for the rest of his life.
A character individual. Talked to him yesterday. Brian Kimbrough, Javon Seymour, DK, all those guys were in front of him.
Return by Roundtree near the 30-yard line.
He was 4th on the depth chart before Derek Mason got the job. Came in and said, hey, it is open competition everywhere. And you talk about making the most of it. That was the reset button that Ralph Webb had been looking for. And he took an opportunity and ran with it. And it should be a model for a lot of young men when it comes to hard work and consistency. You want somebody to look at that lives it each and every day is Ralph Webb.
Locke will throw, and Moore makes the catch at the 32-yard line.
A pretty good open field tackle by Torrin Ferguson. Missouri says, hey, okay, you want to dial up that play? We'll dial it up as well.
Same one.
Yeah, see you and raise you one.
And now with a block in front, this is Albert O. streaking down the sideline, but losing the football at the 44. The line judge comes in and says it was down. 24-yard gain.
Kua Bunam with a big-time reception, outflanking the defense, and here comes Missouri right back in your face.
Before anyone can look at it, Ish Witter runs up to the 40-yard line.
Let's go back and take a look, and it's up in the air. Ooh, that's close. Because it's one thing for the ground to cause it, but it looked like it was shaking itself free before it hit.
That's when the fastest offense in America pays off.
No doubt.
2nd and 6. They're trying to find some space. We'll get maybe a few 3rd and short.
You talk about Jordan Griffin, who's just made that play at 50 tackles this year. It's already best his 21 of a year ago. He played in all 13 games a year ago, and just a natural player. Derek Mason kind of describes him as, reads his keys and just makes plays.
3rd down and 4 for Mizzou, up 4 touchdowns. Option to Witter, 1st down inside the 30.
Boy, excellent job by Drew Lock of running the option. You have to attack the end man on the line of scrimmage to get him to commit. So he finally gets Josh Smith to commit where he can't play in the gray area between the quarterback and the pitch man. He's got to commit to Lock. That's all the way back to the first quarter on a couple of successful runs that forces Josh Smith to commit to the quarterback, and it opens it up for Ish Witter.
Vanderbilt had some confusion on defense there, and players running on and off the field, and they have to burn a timeout. 9:34 to go in the 3rd quarter. Missouri Tigers in front and threatening.
Let's do this nasty thing.
My name is Logan Paul, and I'm back for season 2
of Logan Paul versus.
I'm talking twice the excitement and twice the savagery. There will be alligator. I'm a bitch. Ninja Warrior.
And classroom chaos.
See what I'm cooking up? Yo, the pressure is on, son. Oh, heck yeah. gonna be lit. Logan Paul versus, baby. Only on Watch.
SEC Saturday Night is brought to you by Dr. Pepper and Sam's Club. Go big for football this season.
Temperature has dropped in Nashville. We had some bad weather come through the area. Lots of wind, rain, even a tornado warning before the game started, delaying the start by 30 minutes. 43 degrees at the moment on a crisp night in the Music City. Missouri looks for their 5th consecutive victory after a 1-5 start to the season. And with it, they become bowl eligible for the first time in 3 years. This a 1st and 10, and it's Witter straight ahead near the 22-yard line.
And right now, the Missouri offensive line controlling things at the line of scrimmage. And Josh Heupel told us that they had to win at the line of scrimmage. The big guys up front, Sims, Castillo, Pendleton, Durant, Paul Adams, all winning right now and reestablishing the line of scrimmage.
2nd and 7. Locke goes to the end zone. Miscommunication with Johnson. Back to that offensive line for a second. Olivia Harlan was telling you about this early in the season. They're bigger than the Kansas City Chiefs. This is the biggest offensive line in the state of Missouri.
Wow.
They average 326 pounds per player. You see the average for the Chiefs. They've given up a couple weeks ago against Florida. They gave up no tackles for loss in that game. That's the only time this year that's happened in an SEC football game.
And they'll play a 3rd tackle, and Tyler Howell. Can't leave him out. Junior college player who enrolled last January. Skipped a year at junior college ball, so he'll have another year of eligibility on the D1 level.
Good protection on a 3rd and 7, but that play is blown up as Arnold Trey Tarpley comes in. It's 4th down.
I thought Tarpley was going to go to the house with this one if he could have gotten his hands on it a little bit faster. Boy, that would have been interesting for Vanderbilt, as it would have turned into a track meet. Watch him break on it. He sensed it. He and Ferguson right there to make the play.
So a 41-yard field goal attempt by Tucker McCann, who's 11 for 13 on the season, as the wind at his back. And he hooks it through. Started it just right of that upright and plays a little draw there. 38-7. Just aim at that right bunker. Play it off the right bunker.
Let the wind bring it in.
Let the wind bring it in. And you got a 10-footer for birdie. 38-7, Mizzou.
We are going to camp out there tonight.
You got skills.
Control Price.
Season 2.
Only unwatchable.
Well, now why are we showing my man Wiggy here at the moment as it's 38-7? Well, this is why. Cameraman Steve Wiggy Wiggins, right in the breadbasket.
Tell you what, tough standing in there. That's getting a shot right there, man. And taking one, too.
Also,
that's
a terrific karaoke singer.
Good guy, too.
Jamari Wakefield from the goal line. Still on his feet. Past the 30. Let's take a look at the road to Atlanta, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. There it is, Alabama and Auburn for the West. Next Saturday.
Waiting on Georgia. Georgia's sitting there waiting.
That's right. Already won the East. Georgia blew out Kentucky today. All right, this is a rough draft prediction from you, Dre, because we have Kentucky and Louisville next week at noon Eastern before the game. Right. And that's when you get to confirm your pick. Your rough draft pick, Alabama or Auburn next Saturday?
Well, Auburn's on a roll, but Bama's got athletes, and they've been there. Auburn has as well, but I just believe in Alabama, and it's hard. When you get to that point in the season, Nick Saban will have them prepared and ready to play. And It's got to believe that's their kind of game. Physical, in the box, which is how Auburn likes to play. And now Jarrett Stidham, he's throwing it around a little bit, but got to go with Alabama.
Auburn Tigers 9-2. Had a terrific year with Jarrett Stidham at quarterback, and Kevin Steele has done an outstanding job with that defense. Have to stop Jalen Hurts and the Crimson Tide on the Plains next week. Shermer with another flag down to Dobbs at the 33-yard line.
Shermer's pass is completed. Anthony Shields with a nice tackle on Sam Dobbs.
Offside. 55
again.
Defense lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
You know, Andre, they always say that in each college football game or each sporting event, you'll see something you've never seen before.
Yeah.
We've seen 7 false starts tonight.
A couple of throwing a bunch of offside penalties as well, but that's team captain Jordan Harrell that was offsides.
Second and 5. Here goes Webb. Webb past the 50, past the 45, and he's 9th all-time in SEC history on the ground.
Boy, excellent job up front. Della Ripa, the right guard, and Cochran, the right tackle. They open up a nice crease for Ralph Webb, who is just kind of the do-it-all back. I mean, he catches the ball well out of the backfield. Some team on Sunday will serve itself well to give him an opportunity.
Over 4,000 yards is now in play action. Shermer loads up. Great catch by Kalijah Lipscomb down at the 20-yard line.
Now, where was this in the first half? Guys making plays. Offensive line opening up holes. Nice route. Got away with a little push-off, but it's not speeding until you get pulled over.
24 yards for Lipscomb there. And Vandy's looked impressive on offense on both of these possessions in the second half. In the red zone again, and look at this, a little reverse. Sweep to the right, sweep to the left to Sherfield, inside the 20, down near the 16-yard line. Vanderbilt scored on its only red zone trip tonight. They are now 24 of 27 this year in the red zone, and all of those scores have been touchdowns. They've missed 3 field goals in the red zone this year, but their touchdown production is outstanding.
It may be full-down territory when you start looking at how they've got to get back in the game here.
2nd and 7, middle of the field.
Nice.
Completion to Tennyson, 1st and goal.
Boy, they have a route over the top, Tennyson in the middle, and then a tight end that's going to clear it out. He pulls the coverage of Cale Garrett outside. Watch Garrett follow the tight end peek in the outside. Now it's just the eyes of the quarterback to move him there, and all it takes is a split second for Garrett to get out of position, and it becomes a completion. That's excellent work by Kyle Shermer.
Fake to Webb. Looking wide open. Touchdown. Caleb Scott.
Oh, what a way to finish off your last game at home as a senior. Nothing better for Caleb Scott, who we talked about it. Mr. November with a touchdown reception. I've enjoyed following his career.
And with that touchdown pass, Kyle Shermer ties Whit Taylor for the Vanderbilt single season record with 22. It's his first career touchdown pass, 10-plus quarters against Missouri. Openshaw's extra point is good, and it's 38-14. Tigers. 5:30 to go in the third quarter as Kyle Shermer's had an outstanding season for the Vanderbilt Commodores, finding his buddy Caleb Scott wide open in the end zone. Chuck Scott was one of the best route runners in Vanderbilt football history, his son Caleb put on a clinic on this play.
Well, I wonder if he had some shake like that. I mean, shows it inside to go back to the corner. That is some shake and bake right there. He just flat out lost DeMarcus Hasty, the corner, and got himself wide open. Then the timing by Shermer to get it there. Shermer in the second half, he's perfect. 7 of 7, 113 yards, and then, of course, that touchdown pass to Caleb Scott. That is excellent work.
Senior from Suwanee, Georgia. He's had a great 4-year career. Commodores with 14 points here, all in the third quarter. Roundtree drops the football, picks it up. They don't mark him down. He's down at the 10-yard line. Evidently, his knee wasn't down when he picked up that football.
Let's take a look to see if that knee did indeed touch. Every play's reviewed, and yeah, he's going to be down around the 3-yard line if they take a look at this.
I wonder if he had the football yet. Can't see from that back angle, but there's no doubt his knee was down.
It's similar to where Shermer was tapped down on the low snap, where he kind of been down to take a look. Try to pick it up, and they may take a look at this. And Derek Mason is talking about it right now, trying to plead his case to the officials.
Derek Mason's asking, why would I have to call a timeout here? This is something that
he should not.
The previous play, his returner was forced out of bounds. This play is now under video review.
Right there. Once he has control, he still looks like he's still down. So hold it, right. There's a split second where the knee, and he has possession of the football right at about the 3-yard line. Where he picks it up, and the left knee is still on the ground.
Sean McDade and his crew has done a great job tonight. We mentioned the replay official, Steve Landis, upstairs, taking a look at this one. Knee clearly down there. Was it still down when he picked up the ball? It appears it's close. At that point right there, he looks like it's still down.
He's possessing, and the knee is still down. They actually forced Vanderbilt to use a timeout earlier this year when they didn't have to in a ball game. But right there, boy, that's about as close as it gets.
He's holding that football at the 2-yard line with his knee down near the 3. And it's only the difference in 6 yards, but when it's down near the goal line, that's a big difference.
It changes how you call defenses, whether a team has breathing room or not. Give them 6 yards. Now that's room for Drew Lock to drop back, all of it.
After video review, the receiver covers the ball with a knee on the ground while the ball's at the 2-yard line. The ball replaces the 2-yard line, 1st and 10.
Yep, good job by the replay officials tonight, once again.
Good job by Derek Mason pleading his case.
I like it when they agree with us.
But it never happens if Mason doesn't become so demonstrative on the sideline. And to his credit, he just earned 7 additional yards for his team.
And it changes the way he will call this series to start the drive with Missouri. You have them backed up on this end of the field.
Roundtree is met by Oren Burks at the 2, maybe the 3.
And how Missouri will call plays, because you get in a more of a protective mode when you're backed up on your own end of the field. You're going to run it. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if Josh Heupel doesn't allow Drew Lock to take a shot here. Where's Jamon Moore? He's up top. Just a quick drop and let it rip.
Instead, straight ahead to Witter, who gets back to where the ball was originally placed, the 9-yard line, to be third and short, Roundtree rather, on that carry. Third down.
And that gives you some room in which to work when you get it to third down and short. Still, the entire playbook's open for you, especially the way that Missouri's run the football throughout the course of this game.
It's now 3rd and 2 for Mizzou here. 5 of 10 tonight. Middle of the field is open, and Albert O makes the catch.
What a game he's having. They've got 3 talented tight ends. And Albert O, they got Jason Reese and then Kendall Blanton, and they usually just ride the hot hand, and it's been Albert O for the majority of this game, so he's getting the minutes.
Block. Just run out of bounds. And it'll be spotted out at the 18. No gain.
Kind of like if you have 2 shooting guards and whichever one catches fire first, they just happen to have 3 of them at tight end, and all of them with excellent size, 6'5" or better, all around 250, 260 pounds. They catch the ball well. It's a luxury offensively.
Roundtree, no gain. Studio update. Let's go to Dari Noka.
Let's head and talk to you in a little while. 28-24. Ole Miss gets a big goal line stop. Forces an Aggie field goal last 2 minutes. Ole Miss with a chance to force it.
Here there's a flag down. Too many men on the field, I believe. It's Jamon Moore makes the catch. 4th down.
Defense. Substitute was not able to get off the field prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
It's been a big issue for Derek Mason's team tonight. The 3rd down penalties.
Man, I mean, off the field earlier in the game, Zaire Jones gets caught offsides. That leads to a big play by Jamon Moore down the sideline, and they're able to get it into the end zone. And then it was a big leak before they were able to plug it for a while.
Lock, deep ball. Emmanuel Hall is open but can't make the catch. 4th down.
I tell you what, he is, sometimes you get too amped up for a game and wanting to prove a point. Williams in good position, but still, that one was right on the money for Emmanuel Hall to make a catch and then turn it into a race.
Fatoni to punt. It's a low line drive that takes a nice bounce at the 37-yard line. Let's take a look at Corey Fatoni's journey, fueled by Pilot Flying J. Fatoni from Franklin, Tennessee. He's a Ray Guide Award semifinalist. He's one of the best kickers in the great state of Tennessee. His mother, Selena, encouraged him to play football in middle school to make friends, and she says she's just about forced him to play football, and now he's one of the best punters in America.
Most animated punters. One of the more animated punters as well in America. He will celebrate after some big-time kicks.
Now Shermer. The middle of the field is open, and it's dropped. That was Jared Pinkney.
Well, I tell you what, they are just going to kick themselves, whether it's Sunday or Monday, when they turn the film on to break this thing down. So many opportunities. This is awesome work. Remember we talked earlier about the middle of the field and the tight ends. Well, there was one for Jared Pinkney. I feel like that would be one of the things they could get to, and he is more than capable of making that play.
And 3 drops last week, and now 2 this week. 2nd down and 10. Shermer, sideline throw, trying to make the one-handed grab was Caleb Scott. So we were showing you Corey Fatoni a moment ago with the punt. This guy, as Andre just said, has some impressive reactions, holding on that one, doing the Cam Newton fly down the field there like a plane, and then you got to take a bigger backswing than that, don't you?
Well, not if you're trying to, if it's a short little flop shot.
That's true.
Take it too far back. It's nice and short follow through. Let it spin back for you.
Man, my short game is a mess. 3rd and 10. Shermer facing heavy pressure. Sideline throw caught. And Caleb Scott is going to get the first down with extra effort.
He had the first down. His momentum brought him back behind the sticks, and then he was able to fight and pick up the first down. This is a heck of a job here, battling the entire time. Then he gets brought back by the momentum of the pass, and then outfights DeMarcus Acey again to pick up the first down. A solid route runner and excellent hands by Caleb Scott.
1st and 10. Now Pinckney makes this catch inside the 40-yard line. Another first down to the 39, and a flag comes in.
Yeah, I think a face mask on the end of this will tack on another 15 yards. But Jared Pinckney.
Personal foul. Grasping the face mask. Number 4 defense. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Just felt like the Tampa 2 that Missouri likes to play, that the tight ends would have an effect in the middle of the field. They're on a crossing route earlier down the seam as he cleared the linebackers, but that's the one he put on the turf. Instead of golden opportunity for he, Nathan Marcus, and Sam Dobbs.
Shermer, great catch made, straddling the sideline by Blasingame. It's 12 yards, and it's 1st and goal.
If he could get his footing, he's going to walk in. They get the blitzer off the edge. Excellent read by Shermer. You're going to throw it where the blitzer comes from. And unable to get home is Jared Alton. How about that job of tightrope in the sideline by Blasingame. First the catch and then the tightrope.
Turf toe is such a problem, and he's been battling it the last few weeks. Finally able to see some time on the field tonight. His closest friend on the team, Ralph Webb, lined up as a receiver for a second, now in the backfield. Open on the play was an underneath fullback. That was Rivers, but look at Brandon Lee come in there to bat it down.
Boy, he is some athlete. 6'2", 225 pounds. Just makes plays all over the field. I mean, right here, times that perfectly. He had the pick 6 earlier in the ball game.
Rivers could have walked in if Shermer could have delivered it to him, but Lee prevents it there. 2nd and goal. Traditional look with Webb, the deep back. Inside the 5, banged down at the 4.
Cut down by safety Caleb Pruitt, who just moved back to safety a few weeks ago. Very explosive player, transferred from Kansas State. He tries to make every play or get himself involved in every play. But there, I'm telling you, it is tough to chop down Ralph Webb, and he did it about as well as anybody has this year.
It's been a terrific 3rd quarter for Vanderbilt. Trailed 35-0 at the half, but
they need to get in here, though, Taylor.
That's it. They need to keep scoring touchdowns to have a shot in the 4th. All-out blitz. Wide open receiver, but threw it in front of Sherfield. 4th down.
Not sure who he went over to talk to. It was either Sherfield or Pinckney. But he told them to expect the blitz. It was there, and all you got to do is put it on it. Just put it right between the 1 and the 0. He'd run the route well enough to get himself wide open. Just put it in the area.
And they're going to take the 3 here. They are 0 for 3 kicking field goals in the red zone this year. Tommy Openshaw, the senior kicker, Just 2 of 6 on the season, this from 23 yards. And that is through. 38-17, 15 seconds to go in the third quarter. Let's get another studio update from Dari Noka.
Yeah, TZ, here's how it ended in Oxford. A&M hanging on to a 7-point lead, 4th and 2. Jordan Tamu's passes knocked down, incomplete. A&M goes on the road. First November conference win in 2 years.
Impressive work by Kevin Sumlin tonight. He's feeling a lot of heat in Kyle Station to get that win and improve to 7-4.
Just enjoy it for about 24 hours, and then here comes LSU. And so it'll be a tough finish to the season for the Aggies. LSU today put a pretty good whipping on Tennessee.
It's a short week for the Rebels, who have the Egg Bowl on Thursday. Mississippi State somehow got out of Fayetteville today with a victory to improve to 8-3 on the season. So meanwhile, Vanderbilt with 17 points here in the third quarter. You see the difference between the first half and the second.
Huge difference when they came out of the locker room. That first drive, Kyle Shermer was 7 of 7, 113 yards, and he threw the touchdown pass to Caleb Scott. Impressive drive there. Hey, there's a lot of time left to be played in this football game.
Roundtree had trouble last time, comes out again. The mark down past the 20.
I'll tell you what, Blasingame with excellent coverage on that kickoff, turf toe and all, made his way to the doorstep of Roundtree to get him down.
As we told you earlier, 20 athletic seniors were honored tonight, and 1 additional academic senior, and that's Blasingame, who does have another year of eligibility.
Vanderbilt needs an interception. They need a turnover right about now to create a short field and a quick score.
Option, and this time it's blown up. Jordan Griffin right there to make the tackle in the backfield.
Boy, have I been impressed with his play this year. I mentioned it earlier that he had about 21 tackles last year. Well, he's well over 50 for this season, but still trailing Vanderbilt to Missouri, leading at 38-17.
We're back!
I never heard of roller derby in my life.
We gonna chase pigs?
Is it 2 people peeing these?
They have sticks between their legs.
Yeah. What? This is me dancing.
We got skills.
There you go.
How many cholos you know serve? Cholos belong on solid ground.
Cholo down!
Cholo Strike
Season 2.
Only unwatchable.
Missouri has a rushing touchdown, a couple of passing touchdowns, a pick 6, and a punt return taken to the house. They lead 38-17 as we start the fourth quarter. Now, Vanderbilt did win that third frame, 17-3. Going to have to win this one by at least 3 touchdowns.
Well, and it's advantage right now, Vanderbilt, in 2nd and 13 to figure out a way to try and get this defense to the sideline.
Quick throw is incomplete, looking for Emmanuel Hall.
Now you got to like the game of Williams. All that length, ability to cover, strong, will fight receivers as he did there with Hall. Closing in at the last second, able to get his right hand in.
3rd and 13, Vanderbilt's going to take
second charge time
their second timeout.
Got to be a mix-up in personnel or somebody out of position.
Tonight after our game, tune into SEC Now as they will have an in-depth recap of the day of games around the conference. No one covers the SEC like we do. You can also see it streaming live on the ESPN app. Dari Noka, Chris Doring, and Gene Chizik break down everything in the house all the live long day on Saturday. Of course, Peter Burns and crew get you going each Saturday at noon Eastern time. It's a long day there in Charlotte. Those guys do an outstanding job. Get you ready for Thanksgiving weekend. Big one in Auburn, Alabama, and outside the footprint. Wisconsin undefeated 11-0 plays at Minnesota. Miami on Friday at 10-0 will play at the Pitt Panthers. Of course, you have Alabama that's also undefeated.
So my question to you, is the U back?
Ahead of schedule too. 3rd and 13, Witter on the ground. That sets up a 4th down. They are back, Andre. I think their team is going to be better and better as the years go on with Mark Richt down there.
I think they're set up next year to be.
I thought this team would be about 9-3, 10-2.
Right.
But they've won every close game. Been great in the 4th quarter.
And Mark Richt back as a play caller and doing a fine job in that department.
That whole Miami-Georgia situation couldn't have gone better for both schools. Corey Fatoni punting into the wind here, and a fair catch is made at the 42-yard line. All right, so here we go with Andre Ware giving you his top 6.
Yep, Alabama, of course, followed by Miami and Clemson and undefeated Wisconsin. They just keep proving everybody wrong. You don't respect them. And then actually a coin flip for me, Oklahoma, Auburn. Auburn, I think, would play, if that's a head-to-head match and you forced me twisted my arm to pick one, I probably would pick Auburn in that game. But those are the 6, my top 6 right now.
Ralph Webb, and Webb passed the 40 for a short game.
He is gutting it up, and Derek Mason asking him for more. Thought maybe he should cut it inside there, but he realizes that's the horse you got to ride right now. As Webb checks himself out for a breather.
Second and 9 for Shermer, alone in his backfield at the moment. Quick throw. Nice catch made by Lipscomb. And Lipscomb up near the 50-yard lines. Go down to Olivia.
Well, Taylor, defensive tackle Rashad Brandon hyperextended his left elbow on that last defensive play. He threw his helmet, grabbing that elbow, looked to be in a lot of pain. They've taped up that left side and put a pad over the elbow. They're unsure of his return.
Did a heck of a play earlier in this game. Redshirt junior from Jersey City, New Jersey.
So you need to get about a yard. And lowering his pads is Ralph Webb to get the first down.
But never backs down from a fight. I mean, everybody in the building knows who's going to get the football. Yet he delivers again.
Derek Mason plays it close to the vest when it comes to injuries. They'll say upper body or lower body. He smiled and he said, let's just say he's playing through the pain, speaking about Ralph Webb. This catch made at the 41-yard line by Duncan. Still plenty of time in this game. Over 12 minutes to go. Vanderbilt's in Missouri territory, down 3 touchdowns. They're down 5 at halftime.
It's just become a situation for Vanderbilt that they've got to score pretty much every time they get the football here. And it may be 4-down territory for Derek Mason on each one of these, each series of downs.
Shermer wide open is Pinckney inside the 10. 1st and goal.
Tight end, right in the middle of the field. Felt like that was a soft spot. And Pinckney is an individual that has the talent to exploit it. Right as he clears Cale Garrett. Sherrill's with a nice tackle. But as he clears Cale Garrett, the ball is in the air so he can catch it running. It's fine execution.
32 yards. Fourth play of 20-plus this half for Vanderbilt. Shermer, incomplete to Dobbs.
Oh, that's one. Nice job by Dobbs. You're building the route at about 5 yards where you're catching it with some momentum up the field. The route's fine. You just got to finish it. Put your hands on the football, squeeze it, and turn up and expect a lick. Not one that Sam Dobbs usually lets get away.
Now second and goal, and they go to Blasingame, and he's not able, Wakefield rather, and he's not able to get back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be third and goal from the 10.
And this is where Missouri will dial up a little heat. Down inside the red zone, they're going to speed up the process for Kyle Shermer by forcing him to get rid of the football faster than he wants. Bring some rabbits on the field, get Cale Garrett out of there, and expect some heat here if you're Kyle Shermer.
Vandy
there it is.
Had to kick a short field goal last time, trying to get into the end zone again on a 3rd and 10. Shermer. Catch and note not made by Sherfield, not able to bring it to his body, 4th down.
All right, Terez Hall did a nice job, made it look like he was coming, and then he goes out under the curl, and he's just basically reading as a rat defender in the middle of the field, reading the eyes of Shermer. It took him to his left, and he arrived at the football to Sherfield at the just perfect time.
4th down. And Vanderbilt's going to have to call their last timeout.
Maybe wanted to change the play, and play clock got down to about 2 seconds. Wasn't going to get it off. Had to spend the final timeout.
Derek Mason and the Commodores have lost 6 of 7 games, 4-6 on the season, trailed 35-0 at halftime. But it's obvious that his team always will play hard, given the way that they've battled here in the second half.
There's no quit in this group. That's a compliment to the head coach, Derek Mason.
Kyle Shermer has turned things around in the second half. Look at the total yards numbers. He's 23 of 41, 283 yards now. Touchdown. He had 2 early interceptions, one taken back to the house by Brandon Lee. He's got a 4th and goal here from the 10.
He's checking it again. Same check that he had before he was forced to call the timeout.
He gets hit as he throws, and it's incomplete. Around the end came Marcel Frazier, and Missouri's defense holds.
Knew the heat was coming. 4th down. They're bringing it. Able to get home with Frazier. And Missouri, they get off the field on 4th down.
We got some
Countdown to Christmas is on, and I wish I could be at 2 places at once. But even with so much to do, I have got a great way to find all my favorite Christmas movies. The Xfinity Stream app lets you watch your favorite Christmas movies anytime, anywhere. Who says you can't be in 2 places at the same time? Oh, you are going to get so sick of seeing me. I can't wait. Easiest choice of the day.
Watch Hallmark Channel's Countdown to Christmas all season long with the Xfinity Stream app.
They saw me as a black man who's shaking up the establishment, and they just got tired of it.
Tigers back on the field after their defense forces Vanderbilt to turn it over on downs from the Missouri 10-yard line. Vanderbilt came out and scored touchdowns on their first 2 drives of the second half, unable to cash in inside the 6-yard line on their 3rd possession, so they had to kick a chip shot field goal, and on the 4th, they get to the 10-yard line and come away with no points. Now Locke keeps it himself, and he's got near a first down run near the 20-yard line for 9 yards.
Boy, we talked with Derek Mason about the very thing that just happened on that play. Guys in position, Caleb Pert to make a play on Drew Locke, in position to make a tackle, and just didn't get it done.
Touchdown run by Roundtree to the 22-yard line.
So you have field position where you can play aggressive on defense. You fail to make that tackle. Now this Missouri offense has breathing room. And they are not, believe me, afraid to take a shot to this guy or this one.
One guy you didn't highlight in the slot has 2 touchdowns tonight, and he's not Rashad Floyd. He's not usually one of their go-to guys. So they have spread the wealth. Nothing doing there. Let's go down to Olivia.
Taylor, you were talking about the improved Tiger run game. They've been relying on it more in the last 2 weeks, and offensive coordinator Josh Heupel said the movement on an inside double team has been critical. 5 guys and the tight ends fighting for that extra yard. Tonight they almost have 200 yards on the ground. Now they thought that it would come together quicker than it had. Definitely a big part of their turnaround in the last couple weeks. But Andre, like you said, they have 3 first-year starters on the offensive line. That's Tristan Castillo, Yasir Durant, Trevor Sims. They're doing great, especially Paul Adams. They like him on the line. He's steady, calm, definitely the leader. I've seen that all night tonight on the sideline. And Barry Odom said the running backs have been playing more physically in the last 2 weeks since he's been here.
There's that shot that we talked about. And it does. It takes time. When you have 3 starters that you have to replace on the offensive line, it takes time for it to gel. And they had a tough schedule early in the year with South Carolina, a Purdue team. When they caught them, they were hot. Auburn, and then at Kentucky. They're tough. That's a tough way to start the season. You're expected to light up the scoreboard, but the guys protecting you have a lot of inexperience.
They've given up 9 sacks in 11 games this season. 3rd and 11. And what a catch by Albert O. Only a freshman. He's got a 20-yard catch here. He's had a terrific night.
A nice job of setting Owen Burks up to make him think he's going vertical, and then snaps it off nice and flat for Drew Locke, who times it perfectly, and Albert Kuabunam with another big-time catch.
19 catches for him on the season as a freshman. Roundtree gets maybe a yard as Charles Wright makes the tackle.
And the reason that he's had so many opportunities, I told you earlier, the hot tight end gets the playing time. And Reese and Blanton, you hadn't seen much of them, and it's because that young man, he's got the hot hand right now. A touchdown catch to start the game. He's thrown a couple of nice blocks, a couple of nice catches on the throughout most of this game. 8 receiving touchdowns this year, and he's just a redshirt freshman.
Roundtree again. Another right tackle, not getting much.
And Charles Wright, again, the team's MVP on defense to this point in the season, making a nice stop. We need a little bit more from him tonight, though. Somebody on this Vanderbilt defense has to force a turnover.
Just past the midway point of the 4th quarter. Missouri some 7+ minutes away from becoming bowl eligible and winning their 5th consecutive game. On a 3rd and 8, it's Albert O again. Touchdown. 57 yards. Let's say the entire name one more time. Okuebunam. give him a 9th touchdown on the season.
Well, that's Michael Jordan 61 against Boston hot right there. You talk about having a hot hand, that's lighting it up. Wow. 6'5", 260 pounds, running wide open down the middle of the field. And when we replay this, baby, after the kick, watch the speed in which he comes off the line of scrimmage.
Extra point is good. 45-17, Missouri. Thanks in large part to the man they call Albert O. Having a breakthrough performance tonight in Nashville, Tennessee. Missouri on their way to bowl eligibility.
SEC Saturday Night is presented by Holiday Inn Express. Be the readiest.
Place in America for music. Jet Black and the Cadillacs, an up-and-coming band out of Nashville, played last night at Tin Roof in the Gulch area.
I like that area.
It was fun. We had a blast last night.
There. You get
our crew party.
Just about any genre of music that you want in that area.
What a blessing it's been to be part of this crew in 2017. It's quite a family atmosphere, and loved celebrating with everybody last night. It's Jamari Wakefield to the 20-yard line. All right, show me what Albert O did here.
Well, you got two safeties in this cover 2 look, and Albert O is going to just come right down the middle. One of the weaker parts is the middle of the field. He's going to split it, and watch Drew Lock right as he clears Owen Burks. The ball's going to go into the air right now, and then it's just a foot race. That is one of the weaker parts of the field when you play cover 2, right in the middle in the outside thirds, and he came off with such speed that it didn't allow Owen Burks to really get into the coverage aspect as an underneath defender.
Shermer, another drop. It's the 6th one of the night.
Boy, 6 drops when you're trying to get kick started, and then it was happening early in the ball game as Missouri started to roll offensively. You needed to match their intensity. That's why you catch the ball right there with your hands, young receivers. You can't allow it to get to your body.
Sideline. This one is grabbed by Lipscomb and be 3rd down. So Barry Odom is going to get his 6th win of the season. And as we showed you at the beginning of the game, he was talking about how he knew he would win here. Knew he would get a turnaround. Tonight he's going to have his first SEC road win, qualify for the postseason. Some thought he was in trouble, may not get to 2018. Instead, he's building something special pretty quickly.
Got a lot of young players.
Missouri, that's right.
A lot of young players. Drew Lock will be back, I imagine, again next year.
3rd and 5 for Shermer. Catch made by Pinckney, shy of the first down marker, will be 4th and short.
Just got to push that route up another yard and a half when you're getting ready to cross. So when you catch it, you make sure you're already at the first down marker.
Mizzou, and a nice catch by Pinckney, stays in bounds, and Pinckney's had a heck of a second half.
It's been a battle of the tight ends. Pinckney against Albert O.
It's 26 yards on that catch. He's now got 5 catches for 101.
Nice job there, just shaking off a defender. This guy is going to be one heck of a player. Just a redshirt sophomore himself. You got the redshirt freshman doing work on one side and the redshirt sophomore doing work on the other.
injury to a Missouri player, DeMarcus Acey, who's on the Vanderbilt sideline. We'll take a break. 5:47 to go in the fourth quarter. All Missouri Tigers.
Show me Master of None.
You know what Italian word I love? Allora. I don't even know what it means. Allora.
Binging Netflix with your voice is awesome. Get Netflix now on Xfinity X1. Xfinity, the future of awesome.
Sophomore from Dallas, Texas, DeMarcus Acey's had a good night tonight. In this last play, he was trying to chase down Jared Pinkney. Pinkney rolled over on him, and Acey was in some pain for a while on that Vanderbilt bench, but has made it back to his bench with 5:47 to go in the game. Vanderbilt in Missouri territory.
Pinkney's a big man.
He's got time underneath. Webb can't make the catch at second down.
Like a light heavyweight trying to fight a legitimate heavyweight. Pinkney's at 255 and DeMarcus Acey's about 195. They're actually cruiserweight. Trying to fight a bona fide heavyweight.
Vanderbilt's going to fall to 4-7 after tonight's game. Next week they play the Tennessee Volunteers, and neither team has won a conference game this year. Only two teams in the league without one. That'll change in Knoxville next Saturday afternoon. Bubble to Webb, and it's broken up incomplete. Third down.
Well, the reactionary speed of this defense from Missouri has been impressive. I mean, this is a totally different look to what we had a chance to see earlier in the year against Purdue. I mean, you talk about guys shedding blocks, understanding the scheme, and it just comes with playing time. A lot of young players and just needed to play.
Shermer tucks and runs and is out of bounds right near the first down yellow line.
Nice block, or giving his body up as Ralph Webb, and that's the respect that he has around the SEC. DeMarcus Acey showing some sportsmanship, coming over to help Ralph Webb up.
Catch made inside the 25-yard line by Sherfield. So Tennessee has an interim coach, Brady Hoke, after parting ways with Butch Jones after the Missouri loss last Saturday, and everyone in the Volunteer State wants to know who the next coach of the Big Orange will be. Shermer, throw down to the 5 to Pinkney, and the second half clinic continues for Jared.
Just working Missouri over in the middle of the field. I mean, as soon as he clears the linebackers, Therese Hall, Cale Garrett, and the ball's in the air, and he is snagging away in the middle of that Missouri defense. A little late. Here they are knocking on the door.
Only 3 points in the last two red zone trips. First and goal here with just over 4 minutes to go. Kyle's flushed out again to the end zone, and it's deflected away and complete.
Maybe instead of escaping outside push-up, both ends or edge rushers were coming up the field, push into the protection. And maybe you have an opportunity to pull it down and run it on first down. Pinkney going here to the corner.
Play breaks down in the backfield, and down he goes. Frazier and A.J. Logan are there. Logan, it's a suspended for the first 6 games of the
Logan's going to
season.
get unsportsmanlike conduct penalty.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 60 of the defense, taunting. Penalties half the distance to the goal line. Automatic first down.
It's on Frazier. I thought it was a little extra when Logan had Shermer on the ground, but it's actually Frazier who gets called for it.
Back to Logan for just a moment. He was suspended for the first 6 games of the season, but it's made a huge difference since he has come back to the Missouri Tigers, basically because each offensive line has to make a decision on who to double team, and it's freed up Beckner. First and goal. And Missouri looks like they're offsides again as Glassing game is stopped.
Yeah, definitely there. Turn a time up a run blitz or just a blitz period. And
offside. 24 defense in the neutral zone at the snap. Penalties half the distance to the goal line. Second down.
And that's one thing, Taylor, that you see. We talked about the differences in Missouri. Well, earlier in the year, they were just kind of sitting back in that Tampa 2 taking it. And now they've shown that they will blitz more, and it's because guys in the system, the inexperienced players, they play. And so now you can take some chances and bring the blitzes knowing that guys won't be out of position instead of just playing back on your heels, getting picked away at in zone coverage.
First and goal from the 2. Shermer intercepted. That's Terry Beckner picking it off. Beckner's got daylight in front of him. You know how badly this man wants the end zone, but he falls down at the 46-yard line. Terry Beckner Jr. from East St. Louis, Missouri, has been wreaking havoc in 2017.
What a player who's fought through 2 knee injuries, and that's with surgery on both the times with the injury, and here times it well. Big Beckner almost houses an interception. What a play.
Yo, it's your boy LP. Back in the saddle. If you thought last season was good, just you wait. I'm a bitch. Season 2, twice the 7. Logan Paul versus, baby. Only unwatchable.
If you're in the National Football League, you are salivating watching this guy. Defensive tackle Terry Beckner picks off Kyle Shermer and then shows off his athleticism, breaking tackles. And in the open field, it looked for a moment like he might take it the distance, but falls down just on the other side of the 50-yard line. Now, Mike Tomlin, the Pittsburgh Steelers head coach, at the game tonight. This team played on Thursday night against the Tennessee Titans up in Pittsburgh, taking in the action here at Vanderbilt Stadium. You think Tomlin likes a guy like that on his team?
I think every coach would like a guy like that on his team. He looked like a running back once he got in the open field, but how about the hands? I mean, going up, snagging it with his hands, and then he's bobbing and weaving. When he first took off, I mean, it looked like a legitimate burst from a guy that's 6'4", 305 pounds.
If Missouri runs out the clock here, it'll be the 4th straight game they've held an opponent to 17 points or less.
Boy, impressive. 45 points or more in 5 straight games. It's been something else, some turnaround, with an opportunity to finish the season at 7-5 with a win next week.
Just think about 1-5. What's going to happen the rest of the way? And they respond by winning 68-21, 52-12, 45-16, 50-17. Here they are with this big 4-touchdown lead tonight.
It's impressive. Because you know that there were a lot of people doubting what was going on in Missouri, and I'm sure some of the kids in the program, but that man there rallied the troops, got them to believe in one another, and has gone on one heck of a run.
Can't completely run the clock out yet, though the play clock does expire with 1:19 to go in the game. Vanderbilt, as we mentioned, finishes the season.
First time out of the half, Missouri. They will be a 30-second timeout.
They do get the timeout right before the play clock expires. So Vandy plays Tennessee next Saturday, Arkansas in Missouri next Friday in Fayetteville. I was checking my ESPN app. Number 11 USC leads UCLA 28-17 in the fourth quarter. In college basketball, the 10th-ranked USC Trojans are here tomorrow night at Memorial Gym to take on the Vanderbilt Commodores.
We'll be doing a little action double duty tomorrow for you, huh?
My man Dane Bradshaw and I will watch the Doors and Bryce Drew beat Asheville in a close game last night. Just across the way over there, see if they can make some Memorial magic against Benny Boatwright and the Trojans. And even though this guy won the '89 Heisman Trophy, you want to talk about a man that's obsessed with basketball. Andre Ware is your guy.
I love watching it. Every March, I pay close attention to what's going on in the NCAA basketball world. You know what's still running the football here is Ish Witter back in the game, and this is when you have the luxury of turning it over to a big offensive line and just controlling the ball game. Big guys are moving bodies.
Witter with his third 100-yard rushing performance this season, and see if Odom's going to call another timeout here right before the play clock expires. We'll do just that, just over 30 seconds left. So Missouri's going to improve to 6-5 on the season, and it's just incredible to think that this was the same team, Andre, that we saw that was 1-5 at one point in the year, getting blown out by the Purdue Boilermakers 35-3 at home, 51-17 loss to the Auburn Tigers, and here they are now blowing everybody else out of the building.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a complete turnaround for this program, and Barry Odom, he got that speech, got everybody kind of fired up, and his team responded. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but it certainly worked in this case, and they started to play some good football. We talked about it, though. Turnover margin, they've certainly turned over Vanderbilt in this one, and then in their wins, they were +4 coming in the losses, -10, so -6 on the season coming into the ball game, and they forced a few turnovers in this one.
One more punt by Fatoni with 23 seconds to go. Have a chance to improve to 7-5, as you said, if they can knock off Arkansas. It is a short week, and it's another road game, too, in Fayetteville. Arkansas played hard today. A close call to Mississippi State.
It's an interesting situation down in Arkansas with Jeff Long being let go earlier in the week, and the future of Brett Bielema, who with Jeff Long having hired him, a lot of speculation going on in those parts.
Almost 3 years to the day since Missouri won on the road in the Southeastern Conference. That changes tonight as Barry Odom wins his first game on the road as an SEC coach. Missouri qualifies for a bowl with a 45-17 win in Nashville. Derek Mason's team falls to 4-7, and you can see the respect that those two have for each other. Terry Beckner all over the field for the Missouri Tigers. Ish Witter runs for over 100 yards. Missouri had a touchdown in all three phases: special teams, defense, and on offense. And Olivia Harlan's with Barry Odom.
Thank you, Coach. Congratulations. You are now bowl eligible for the first time as a head coach. What did you most get from your guys tonight? I know you asked a lot of them.
Well, we've got a group of guys that really care about each other. They've got a lot of resolve on the way they hung together throughout the course of this season. I'm proud of them. I'm ready to get in the locker room, get around them, and we need to put this one to rest and get the next one because it's a short week and Arkansas has already got a couple hours on us. So really proud of them. They've done a heck of a job, and we'll see how good we can get going into next week.
You told us earlier this season that this program has improved so much on and off the field, but what does securing that bowl eligibility do for your program and your fan base?
Well, I'm excited for our seniors to have the opportunity to go play in postseason, and I'm really excited for our underclassmen to get 10 to 15 additional practices in on what we need with the foundation of our program moving forward.
That sure is a luxury. And your guys, you talked about, went through that 5-game losing slump. You see what they do every day. Who especially impressed you tonight?
Well, I was excited just the way that we played good team football. And I think it wasn't perfect by any stretch on either side, but we found enough guys to step up and make plays together, and I'm happy for them.
Coach, I'll let you celebrate in the locker room. Thank you.
Thank you.
He said that everyone believed in what he was doing inside the program, but now publicly you can see it too. Missouri blows out Vanderbilt tonight, 45-17 in Nashville. For Olivia and Andre, I'm Taylor. Let's head back to the studio.